Welcome to Live from Southeast Asia. Currently broadcasting from here in the Philippines. Welcome to the show. Tonight I'm going to cover what I call the vent report. Volcanoes, earthquakes, news, and typhoons. All the stuff that you really want to know about if you're planning a trip over here or planning on moving over here. Just basically talking about what's going on in the neighborhood. So I want to welcome you to this live show. How about that for an introduction? But before I go any further, let me go around the horn, make sure all my technical aspects and buttons are pushed. Okay, so it looks like looks like I'm live on YouTube. All right, 1 for 3. Okay, let's go over here to Twitch. All right. Looks like I'm up and running on Twitch, and it looks like I'm up and running on Kick. All right, awesome. So if you can, please give me a audio video check on your end, and then we will proceed. Night Owl says it sounds good. Thank you very much for that report. Okay, let me come over here, get everything up and running here. Let's see, H River moving permanently over there around mid-August. Well, you're on the short clock, my friend. You'll be over here in the neighborhood before you know it. So welcome to the neighborhood. Captain Dad, how you doing? Yeah, we'll go over that, my friend, about the two American folks who recently got shot over here. We'll cover that as well. And let's see, Steve, how are you? John, R.A., Paulie, everybody reporting that everything sounds good. All right, well, again, thank you very much for tuning in. I've actually got some peace and quiet because I dispatched Big Pumpkin and the kids out on some errands. So we'll be quiet for an hour or so before the noise gets back. Okay, so anyhow, I sat there and I come up with that acronym in my head. Maybe somebody's already done it, but what a great acronym, especially for what you want to know here in the Philippines. VENT, volcanoes, earthquakes, news, and typhoons. I tried to add landslides in there, but it just couldn't make it fit. I couldn't make it work. So anyhow, welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Without further ado, let's go over. I got to put my old man glasses on. Y'all know when I got to look at the screen, I got to go into old man mode. I'll try to start out in order here. And we'll go to the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. Okay, and I'll try to stay on track. So we'll start with the V. Here's the volcano status. All right, now if you don't know it, got this nice little link here. Shout out to the folks at Phil Volks. And I don't have all of these links down in the description, but everybody asks me all the time, hey man, did you hear about this, that, the volcano? Did you hear about the earthquake? This stuff goes on constantly, and it's such a way of life. It's like asking somebody in Chicago, hey, did you hear about that shooting the other night? Like, which one? There were 35. Okay, but there's a tracker here. We'll go over it. Here's the volcano status, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Talk about the ones at the highest alert level. So we got this Mayan volcano alert level 3, which is intensified unrest. That thing sort of blew, what was it, last week? Sent some ash 3 clicks up into the air. Why do you care? Well, guess what? It affected some flights. Some flights were delayed and or canceled due to the ash, and that's where that thing is at, and the winds blew it east over towards Cebu. So I got on the ground reporting from you fine folks that yes, you got some ash fall over in Cebu City. Okay, so that's the wrong one. So that thing is at an alert level 3. Come on down here. This one's low level, alert level 1. This one's at a 2, and that one's out of 1. And I keep getting these mixed up, okay? That's the Mayans alert level 3. Did I put the right thing up on the screen? Nope, I put the wrong one. That's Mount Kenlaon. See, you get them mixed up. So already my reporting's all jacked up. But let's talk about the alert levels, what they are, right quick. So Mayan's at a 3. So you come over here to this next link and you go to click on the Mayan and it'll tell you. There you go. Magma is close at the crater. Eruption is possible within weeks. So there you go. Again, I'm going to put these links in the description. I have not done so quite yet, but they're all just good information, right? Just go straight to the source and don't let there be too many interpretations. All right, so there's your quick volcano report right out the gate. Which one do we need to keep an eye on? The Mayan volcano. All right, now since I had the Kenlaon volcano, let's do the Mayan volcano. Mayon volcano right there. And that's where this guy's at. So according to Phil Volks, and Fatima's village is right there, if you're wondering. That one right there is under, I keep going to the wrong one, alert level 3. Alright, now I'm going to try to move quickly before I just start talking about various subjects for 30 minutes at a time. And, you know, when people say, hey, did you hear about the earthquake? Well, if you go to this list right here, this is the latest earthquake information from Phil Volks. And this is why I'm always lost. If anybody asks me, did I hear about the earthquake? Okay, so let's just start. There's July 16th, which it's Thursday, July 16th, 9:42 a.m. here in the Philippines. And here's your magnitudes over here. And if you just scroll up, obviously I'm not going to go over every one of those reported earthquake events or activity, what have you, but you can look at the magnitude. Let's see, the biggest one in the past 24 hours was what, a 4.5? I got a 4.1, 4.5. Do I see a 4.6? It looks like that was the biggest one. But you go down through here, there was one somewhere in Bogo right there. So a 2.1 near the old lady's village. So folks, when you ask me if I heard about the volcano, or heard about an earthquake, which one are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? And again, I'll put this link down there. It's coming straight from the source, which is Phil Volks, Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. So there you go. So I've covered volcano. What I cover? Volcanoes, earthquake. Now what's next? The news. Well, should I do the news and then the weather report? Because the news is going to get discombobulated. All right, so I'll take a quick break. And we will and look at your comments. Then we'll go on to the news, but I'll leave that up there. That's the Philippine News Agency. Good link too. Government website comes straight from the G. But I will slow down and catch up on your comments, and then we'll start talking about the news. All right, Night Owl says it's a bit loud. Maybe I need to hold the microphone away from my mouth a little bit. Just keep letting me know. Let's see. Paulie checking in from Foley, Alabama. Australian guy. How are you? Aloha from Hawaii. Let's see. Eli's in California. Heath in Indiana. Chris over in Daewoo. Yeah, we'll discuss that in just a second. In the news, the vent report, volcanoes, earthquake, news, and typhoons. Man, I should trademark that. Maximus checking in from Chicago. And West is talking about 900 poisonous snakes escaped in a monsoon in China. Sounds like what happened down in the Everglades back there in, what was it, Typhoon or Hurricane Andrew, when that snake breeding facility got flooded and now got all the problems in the Everglades. Hod checking in from Cali. Man, I forgot to put tsunamis in there. That's an extra T. If I could factor in the T and the L for tsunamis and landslides, man, I'll have to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, Maximus, we'll talk about that. And then South Florida Sam checking in from West Palm Beach. It's K today, says I'm looking well after I stopped drinking. Thank you very much. I feel great. The main thing is I lost weight. Man, I'm just back to fighting shape. But I'm craving a beer. So you never know what's coming down the pipe around the next corner. Angelo, how are you? Okay, so with that, we'll just cover, I just put the government page up there. Generally fair weather to prevail nationwide on Thursday. And I would tend to agree with that assessment. Let me just give you a quick look. That's looking out my front gate. It's just a beautiful day, light breeze, sunny, it's warm. It's a beautiful day here in the Philippines. But I'm going to save the weather until after we've covered some news. Okay, but if you're wondering where I get some of this stuff from, I just go to the source. What the G's putting out, you can go from there. Let's see. Okay, let me jump on this because I got personal experience with this. June's fatal shooting in a high school in the central Visayas. I'm not going to cover that incident. The point is that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, for the first time, the Department of Education here conducted a active shooter drill in the Manila campus. Now, the school shootings that go on in America quite frequently and all that violence over there, typically we haven't seen that here in Southeast Asia. It's always, if it happens, it's an extreme anomaly. And I'm not saying that it's a regular occurrence now, but we've had a couple of incidents to where, I'll read you this article here, but I think it was yesterday. This was July 16th. Yep. The recent spate of campus violence has led to a new kind of activity in public schools. DepEd, Department of Education, on Wednesday conducted for the first time a drill simulating an active shooter scenario within school premises. The initiative was deemed necessary by DepEd, particularly after the June 22nd shooting incident at a Tacloban high school that involved 2 teenage gunmen and left 3 students dead and 20 others injured. Let's see, the first National Safe Schools Summit and Safety Drill was held at Manila Science High School, where students, teachers, and local authorities performed lockout, lockdown, and evacuation procedures. The first time. I've said many times that, when I send my kids to school, I don't worry about the same things most folks worry about in the United States. But unfortunately, the world as a whole is not getting it any better. Had a couple of incidents over here in Southeast Asia, and now they've said, hey, we got to have an active shooter drill. And that's what they did yesterday. The activity included a mock attacker wielding a plastic pistol, breaking into the compound, and a team of real police officers responding. 1,770 students, grades 7 to 12, participated in the simulation, which was closely patterned after the run, hide, fight protocol followed in the United States. Intended to increase one's chances of survival, the protocol is an internationally recognized approach widely adopted in the U.S. So that's what they did yesterday. And then let's see, they talk about, anyhow, they talk about the incident, but personally, what's changed at my kids' school. Traditionally, the campuses over here in Southeast Asia are, I don't want to say open, but some schools are very open. Some schools, they have one guard. He's standing at the gate. It depends on the size of the school. Like, shout out to the security guard down at the school where the kids went to in her hometown. That dude, by memory, he knew every student. He knew every person that was authorized to pick them up. They call them fetchers, right? And here you might get a fetcher ID at your kid's school. But he, just by sight, he knew. And he was at the gate, and he would like, okay, there's the fetcher for this one. And that's what that man did. But there was one guard, sometimes two. Now, dropped my daughter off at school this morning. There were four young police officers there, and the gate was locked. So they're not leaving the gate open at this point in time. The gate's usually open. You can come and go. Yes, the guard's there, but no police. This morning, got police on the scene. The gate is closed and padlocked. So, they saw me. They signaled to the guard, make eye contact. He knows me. Okay, open the gate. So I just bring this up. If you're sending kids to school here, am I worried? Not like in America, absolutely not. But they are reacting to the current incidents, and that's just what's going on here. So I figured I would throw that out there. Just something I'm not used to. I'm not used to going to the school and seeing 5-0. In America, you're used to seeing that. Here, I'm not used to seeing uniformed officers at the schools, but now we are. Okay? All right, so with that, let me catch up on your comments here. Let's see, Rokon checking in from Montana. How are you? Bangkok on station. And let's see, the tourism numbers going down. I'm not sure, not really tracking on the current tourism numbers, but we can dig into that. Okay, so that's what caught my attention right there. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I think that may have been what I was reading from there. There you go. There's another shot of your active shooter drill. Okay, got to be prepared. Been incidents here, incidents over in Thailand. You obviously have to adjust to the environment where historically this hasn't been necessary. Okay, on a lighter note, in the grand scheme of things, obviously not a lighter note for this gentleman who was involved with this incident, but it brings up a good learning point for anybody who's considering leaving their home country and moving to another country, okay, where you are a visitor. You are on a visa, which is a privilege and not a right. Only right that you have to be somewhere is your home country. All right. A lot of people forget this, and they get themselves into trouble over a bad date. All right. So I'm going to talk about this incident. My heart goes out to this gentleman. I mean, you're the captain of your own destiny, but I think the point is here, if you go to a country outside your home country and jump in 100% with everything you've got, you need to remember in the back of your mind that it's a privilege to be there. Okay, some ink in your passport and you will leave that country. No matter how much you've got invested, how many houses you've built, what you've got going on there, some ink and a paper in your passport, you'll be leaving. All right, so let's talk about this gentleman here. And again, I feel bad for him. He's an old dude. I obviously don't condone his actions. He screwed up. Maybe he just had a bad day. Maybe normally he's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know the exact situation, but I'm going to bring it up for the learning point. Immigration authorities apprehended a 64-year-old Irish national on the 13th, so that's a few days ago. He's going to face a deportation case for attacking a government-contracted tow truck and members of the MMDA during an operation involving his illegally parked vehicle. Okay, So let's talk about what happened. I'll talk about my similar situation, getting my motorbike towed. But let's see. There's the gentleman right there. And again, 64-year-old retiree. There's his photo right there. And that's enough just to show you it could be any of us. It could be any of us, living here, living any other country as an expat. And this is the example of one incident. You had a bad day and now it's going to affect your entire life. All right. Let's see. He went viral on social media after he was caught on video attacking a government contracted tow truck and members of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. Not exactly sure what that is, during an operation involving his illegally parked vehicle. He's now in custody, pending deportation proceedings. Let's see. So let's come on down and see what he did, okay? Did I get to what he did? I'm not sure I actually got the whole story. You know what? Maybe it's on this other screen. Folks, I'm a one-man show here. So let me see if I can find the story here. That's basically the story I got. Okay, so he's being deported. I don't know where the exact story is. And look, I'm not up on Facebook. I don't engage in the chat rooms and whatever and get the chismes. I don't know the whole story. The point is this. Apparently the dude was parked in the wrong place. The authorities are towing his shit. He threw a fit. And now he may be probably getting deported from where he lives. How many lessons are here? Lesson number one, I've already stated. Wherever you go outside your home country, it's a privilege. Some ink in your passport and you will leave. It doesn't matter if you spend $1 million building your dream beach resort. You will leave. They'll give you 24, 48 hours, whatever. You will leave. I've seen it happen. Long story short, this Russian was being very rude to a Thai immigration officer, a female. She was being very quiet and just taking the abuse and just, in front of this room full of people. The male, older immigration supervisor came over, picked up the passport, hit it with a stamp, and said, now you leave Thailand. That's the end of it. That's how easy. And maybe that Russian was having a bad morning too. Maybe the most wonderful person, but was having a bad morning, frustrated with maybe a language barrier. I don't know. I know this. They weren't staying in Thailand no more. Just like this gentleman here. Your temper when you're in another country can affect your ability to live in that country. Where a local, it's not going to be a big deal, right? They're going to argue a little bit, going about their way. Or if it gets to blows, local gets locked up, gets out, goes on about their business. But if the case gets publicized and elevated and immigration gets involved, well, guess what? You ain't got to go home to your home country, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Imagine, you got a house, wife, kids, life, nowhere to go home to, and then you have this bad day. Now, with that said, I'm gonna tell my personal experience. I parked my motorbike in the wrong place over in Thailand. Me and my old lady went around the corner. We came back, and this is all I saw. I saw an old-ass pickup truck and two scruffy-looking dudes loading my bike into the back of the pickup truck. I thought they were stealing it. Okay? There was nothing official going on. I took off running, jumped into the back of the truck and grabbed the handlebars of my bike. And these two guys, they just looked shocked. And then, a little tense moment, but we realized, hey, they were contractors for the police. But there was no police around there. The police went around, told, hey, tow this one, tow this one. They were merely doing their job. But from my perspective and my wife's perspective, all we saw was two scraggly dudes throwing our bike in a piece of shit pickup truck. We thought they were stealing it. It could have very easily turned negative for me, but you know, that's what went down. Looking back, I should not have taken that action, but it was just instinct. You know, hey, you guys are stealing my bike. They're stealing our bike. We're on them. So anyhow, a lot of learning points. And again, my heart goes out to the dude. Maybe he's the nicest guy in the world, or maybe he's an everyday asshole. I don't know. All right. But if you're not in your home country, it's best to avoid any type of conflict like that. My goodness. All right. So let's go up to your comments. My buddy always says, hey man, on your live streams, you go too fast. You talk too fast, slow down. Okay, so let's come on up here. Let's see where I'm at. It looks like the old lady, Big Pumpkin, and the kids are home. It might get noisy here, okay? Let's come on down. Mr. G says, NYC Homes building doorman, knows everyone, gets big tip money at Christmas. Yeah, the school guards are the same way here. They know everybody. They know who's authorized to pick them up. I mean, it's like they have this, I mean, it's what they do. It's their job. But there's hundreds of students, and they know. They know. And when they don't recognize somebody, nope, hold up. Oh, okay, there's Auntie with him. All right, now I know it's cool. But the security guards at the schools are not armed. They're just coolies. Let's see, KC checking in from CM Reap. Lots of security there. Andy says, buy Fatima a washing machine. Still holding out because of my light bill. Let's see, looks like we've got the silent fish, the quiet fish up in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Cypods checking in from Jakarta. Coming on down here. Hod, how are you? Everybody discussing safety. There you go, Will. You're not 100% safe anywhere, but there's levels to it. Some places are safer than others. There we go. And you know what? Before we get into these two gentlemen who happen to be Americans that just got shot recently here, let's focus on that and just say, hey, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon to say that it's dangerous in the Philippines. I'm the exact opposite. So you're going to ask a general question. Is it safe to visit the Philippines? Yes, absolutely. It's inherently safe, okay? How many people got shot in Chicago or Atlanta last weekend? Nobody knows and nobody cares. There's so many shootings and robberies. But when these shootings and robberies happen to an American, it's obviously going to be reported in mainstream media, right? Big news, right? Well, why aren't you reporting on the 30-something people that got shot in Chicago? It's not news because it's just the norm. So I'll start out, before I talk about these two gentlemen who got shot recently, yes, the Philippines is safe, much safer compared to the United States. I don't feel the need to arm myself here. But just like my good friend just said, there's crime everywhere. Show me a country that has zero crime, and I will go there. Now look, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, places over there in the Middle East, very, very low crime rate. But no place on earth you're 100% safe. All right. But anyhow, let's get into covering what happened. But is the PI Thailand safe? Yes, absolutely. Okay, just because there's a couple of incidents and the gentlemen happen to be Americans, don't cancel your travel plans. Okay. Let's see, the Philippine National Police on Wednesday said it now has 2 persons of interest in the fatal shooting of an American marine scientist and the alleged sexual assault of his Filipino partner in Sibulan. Based on initial CCTV footage, they believe the attack may not have been meticulously planned. Okay, here's the article right here. It looks like that's where they ransacked their closet. But let me just summarize what happened, okay? Or I could pull up a better article. Where's my article at? I pick and choose these articles because they have certain elements in them that some of them leave out. See, where's the one with the last bit? Just a second. I think this is the article right here. So the article that I have up there is not the one I'm going to read from. Let me pull it up, because there's one very interesting coincidence about this incident, okay? Okay, so again, this is July 16th. This came out this morning, talking about the police tagging 2 persons of interest. Do I have a picture of this gentleman? No, that's the other shooting. I got to get a little bit more organized here. The live-in partner of American marine biologist Kent Carpenter and her sibling are considered persons of interest. Police said on Wednesday, Carpenter was 73 years old with his 34-year-old Filipino female companion. They were having dinner at home Sunday night when 3 men wearing masks barged in, one of them shooting the biologist in the head and killing him instantly, according to the investigation. Now look, I'm not going to put a picture of the gentleman up on the screen, but basically he was in his easy chair, laid back with his feet kicked up, watching a big screen TV. And if you look at the images, they just have the head portion blurred out. So he's just sitting back, kicking back in his easy chair, watching TV, and then boom, gets capped right there. Didn't even have a chance to get up or react. I mean, he's sitting in his easy chair, according to the photographs that I saw. We can't say that the live-in partner is involved, but for now, since she was left alive, the suspects may know her, according to Police Chief Colonel Timar Alam. He told reporters in an interview. They've created a task force for the case. And this gentleman, he's basically been a marine biologist around here for years, internationally known. And let's see, there's some inconsistencies in the story. The victim's live-in partner said the attackers took a laptop, a pair of binoculars, a wallet containing 25,000 pesos, and a separate amount of cash worth 50,000 pesos. So we're talking, less than $1,500, 1,500 US. Aside from the robbery angle, they're looking into possible motives, other motives. Investigation shows they had no serious quarrels, but there were some inconsistency. She claimed that she was sexually assaulted during the attack, but a swab test conducted did not support her claim. She claimed she was first tied up with a charger cord, then forced to lie down. And she said the assailants broke into the house, but they found no signs of forced entry. Doesn't seem to be very well planned. Okay, now this is what the interesting thing, and folks, I'm not trying to drum up any conspiracy theories here, but this is an interesting coincidence nonetheless. Okay, this gentleman, in 2015, Carpenter was one of the 2 expert witnesses presented by the Philippine government before the UN Permanent Court of Arbitration in its case questioning China's sweeping claims to the South China Sea. On July 12, 2016, the court rejected China's claims and upheld the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. That's July 12, 2016. Now, when was this gentleman shot? And shout out to Big Pumpkin. Thank you very much. Got home, brought me something to drink. So cheers to Big Pumpkin. Okay. Is my math correct that he was shot on July 12th, 2026, which would be the 10th anniversary of that ruling against China? And someone feel free to correct me and make sure that Sunday was July 12th. Today's the 16th, Thursday. So again, I'm not trying to say anything, or I'm just reading that sentence that this guy testified against China, one of two government witnesses, and then he gets shot in the head on the 10th anniversary of that ruling. Okay, BAH, yeah, where he testified against China on behalf of the PI. And again, folks, I don't want to go either way with it. Possibly just a robbery over what we consider a small amount of money, which, if you're a broke local teenager, it's a huge amount of money. According to the news reports, according to the police, there's inconsistencies in his girlfriend's story. I don't know. But I do find that quite interesting. It's just one thing that makes you go, that he testifies against China and 10 years to the day gets taken out while he's kicked back in his easy chair. So, it doesn't make sense if you're going to come in and rob an old man, kick back in his easy chair, and you got to shoot him when you immediately come in. And you say, well, you can identify us. Well, why didn't they shoot the girl? There's so many questions. All I'm putting out there is what the open source media says. But the interesting fact to me is that he testified against the CCP exactly 10 years ago to the day. Okay, so let me go back to... Oh. You fix that. There we go, right there. I'll take a brief pause and read your comments while I pull up my next item up for bid here. But there you go. The gist of it is this older gentleman who's a marine biologist, sort of world renowned, who testified against China, got shot in the head in his easy chair. They're still investigating. I don't know what's being said on the Facebook circles and the chismes and all that. I don't know. I'm just telling you what open source is putting out. And the place, from the images and the pictures that I saw, it was a nice place they're living in. It wasn't like they're in a bamboo shack somewhere. I mean, it looked like a decent place. Radar says, based on comments, it seems many Filipinos are upset and even suspicious of the partner. Yeah, and sometimes a lot of things that don't make sense, right? You would think this chick's been living with him for years. They got a good thing going. They're not, as far as I know, they're not married, right? Why take the guy out? Why be involved in taking the guy out? Now you just chopped off your paycheck. What sense does that make? But sometimes when people are staring at $1,500 US, it's enough to make them do certain things like that. So I don't know. Moving right along to Well, I was going to read your comments. Midnight, how are you? Y'all talking about my goats. Yeah, folks, and just remember, 1500 US is a small fortune here. In the US, it's not worth killing over, but people in the US get killed for a lot less than that, right? But 1500 here is a small fortune. Let's see, Kylie, how are you? Yeah, Dixie says 2.5 years in Pampanga. I have not once felt unsafe. I ride my scooter and motorcycle regularly. I walk, and it's much safer here than in the U.S. Just stay away from, meth heads. Okay, rolling up. Ronald checking in from Louisiana. How are you? Charlie in Pennsylvania. Thanks for checking in. I laugh. See JB, how are you? Under the Dogwood, how you doing? And Dave, how are you? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So that gentleman got shot. We'll have to wait and see what the motive is. Was it something to do with his girlfriend? It's just a robbery. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, the next shooting here, just to go over briefly. American dude walking down the street. Two dudes on a motorbike. And I'm not going to put the video up there. When I do these types of reports, I'm not real sure what I can get away with YouTube. So if you want to see the actual footage, it's out there. But basically, a couple dudes on the motorbike approach. It looks like this guy is texting, walking down the street, and then he fights back and swacks him with an umbrella. Gets him on the run. They take off. So he's feeling Billy Badass, but they come back shortly thereafter, and he's bringing an umbrella to a gunfight. They cap him. What are the lessons here? And again, this happens every day in America. Every city in America, major city, this happens. So it's gonna make the news because it happened to an American tourist here in the Philippines. But it always makes the news when an American gets capped abroad, right? So it's a robbery. Step number one, you're walking down the street texting on a brand new iPhone, which is a small fortune here. It's not smart to begin with. All right, number one, don't walk down the street texting. You look like an idiot. Keep that shit and all your jewelry or what have you, keep that under wraps. Okay, so number one, they look around, okay, they see the foreigner. All right, the dude's probably got money. Oh yeah, he's texting on a brand new iPhone 22 or whatever they're up to. Now you're a target. All right, now you're a target. Step two, okay, I'm not going to tell you not to defend yourself or not fight back. That's up to you. A lot of people say it's better to comply, but people have complied and still got shot. I can't tell you what to do. The dude fought back initially. He had him on the run. He should have disengaged and got off the X. So by the time they went around the corner and got a damn round racked in their gun or whatever they did and came back, you're gone. He's still in the same area and they come back, he's ready to fight some more. Wrong thing to do. Okay? You prevailed on the initial encounter. Get the hell off the X. Take off running. Take shelter in somebody's house or store, whatever you got to do. Get the hell out of there. Don't give them a second chance. And the fact that you whooped them, you pissed them off. If they do have a gun, they're going to come back because they're pissed. If they don't have a gun, they're probably going to leave. But why take that chance? So a lot of things here, again, I'm not going to say he did the wrong thing by fighting him off initially, but then he should have got off the X, and he didn't. He came back and got capped. It's a robbery. That's all it is. It's a robbery. My heart goes out to the gentleman. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I think his actions of staying in the area and trying to fight back a second time was his mistake. You know, he was good, but he needed to take off running and get the hell out of there. He did not do that. So that's the other incident. I've told bits and pieces of this story. I'll talk about my personal experience and living here, being in Southeast Asia. One time, and it was when I was going to Muay Thai. And what I used to do is run up and down this hill. That was my first step in my Muay Thai workout. And so I think coming down the hill, these two Koyas, they're Thai guys. Two people on a motorbike passed me. Now back then, nobody wore helmets. This is years ago. Nobody wore helmets. If you were wearing helmets, it was suspicious. You know what I mean? Local dudes just didn't wear helmets. Nowadays, it's a little bit more, but back then, you never see a local dude wearing a helmet, right? They come past me. They're both wearing full face helmets. It ratcheted right then. I'm like, oh, something ain't right. Dudes don't wear helmets. As they went past me, they went visor down. I said, oh, I'm about to get robbed. As they cut the U-turn to come back, I was taking action, getting off the X. Now think about this. If they're on a motorbike in the street, they can only go this way and this way. If you're on foot, try to go this way where they can't follow you. And that's what I did. I jumped and bush bonded and hit the bushes. There's no way they can follow me unless they're going to stop that bike, get off, and try to chase me on foot, which the guy on the back is not going to get very far from the getaway vehicle. So by the time they turned around, going to target me, because I was running with an iPhone and my earphones, listening to music, I was already in the bushes. I was already over in the bushes. I was no longer to be found. And what they did is they went on up the hill, stopped these two young guys on a motorbike and robbed them. And as they went by, I saw the guy getting the gun out. Now, I've told bits and pieces of that story. You know, I really didn't want to say too much about it. And the other thing about it is when I ran into the bushes, I cranked up the video. So I've got the whole damn thing on video. And being a redneck, not very smart, but as they left robbing the kids up the hill and went down the hill, I popped out of the bushes and I flipped them off because I'm a redneck and that's what rednecks do. Anyhow, in all the time I've been here, I was almost the victim only one time. And I walked the streets, stayed drunk, stayed in and out of bars. Just one time I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But luckily I recognized what was going down and I hit the damn bushes. I bush bonded on them. I mean, by the time they turned around, where the hell did that dude go? Just get them up the hill. And I saw him pulling the gun out as they were going up the hill, the guy in the back. So there you go. So the news is 2 folks got shot. 1 potentially domestic related. 1 was just a street robbery. And my heart goes out to their families, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just things that happen every day in my home country of the United States that don't make the news. Okay? All right, I'll go to your comments and see what y'all are saying over here. Hey, Gary, how you doing? Checking in from Saskatchewan. Yeah, Il McGee. I mean, now I was at Muay Thai. I had my Muay Thai uniform on. I'm in fighting shape, but I was running with an iPhone in my hand. So obviously they're going to pull up and grab an iPhone. But when the Falong bush bonded, not on the road, I'm not running towards them, I'm not running this direction. You go this direction where they can't follow you. I mean, if they're going to try to follow me on the bike, they can't. They can't get over the curb. They can't get into the bushes. They're going to get stuck in the mud. They're not following me on that bike. And the guy on the back is not going to run that far away from the bike. If he had tried to follow me into the bushes, it probably would have, he wouldn't have caught me. Let's just leave it at that. They went for the easy target on up the hill. So anyhow, interesting incident. Maybe one day I'll release the video. And I don't recommend you flip them off when they're riding away, because I could have pissed them off. They could have cut a U-turn, but I was in the bushes. I had to. I'm a redneck. Why would I come out of the bushes and give them the finger? Because I was filming. They were up the hill, so I'm out of the bushes filming like this, and they come down and went like this, and as the guy goes by, they look over at me, and that's when I gave them the finger. They just kept going. I had the advantage because they can't follow me. If they would have stopped or slowed down or tried to cut a U-turn, I'm already 500 meters into the tree line. They're not going to follow me. I don't recommend you do that. I'm just telling you what I did and why I did it. I'm a redneck. We do shit like that. It's just, if I was smart, I would have stayed over in the bushes. But I wanted to see what was going on. I had an iPhone in my hand, so I hit record. And I had to do it. Couldn't help myself. You should see the look on their face too, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Let's see, comments coming down. Yeah, cold beer sounds good right now. Jeff checking in from Dallas, how are you? No, like I said, I don't feel the need, I've never felt the need to carry any type of weapon in Southeast Asia. Just don't feel the need to. It's just different. Obviously things happen. Obviously there are criminals everywhere you go. Obviously this dude walking down the street looking at his cell phone didn't expect to be robbed. He's just strolling along with his umbrella and his cell phone, and next thing you know, he's getting robbed, fighting them off, and then they come back and shoot him. But tell me anything about that's out of the ordinary from the United States of America. What's a lot different is the frequency here. I don't know what the percentage is, but you're a hell of a lot more likely to get robbed in my home country than you are in Southeast Asia. Last plane home, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Alright, so let's go. What's the next item up for bid on my news here? Next item up for bid. Let me get this over here so I can sort through this. Well, I tell you what, let's go to the weather. Let's go to the weather without further ado. Maybe I should do it where I get everything in the first 10 minutes and then go to being long-winded. Alright, that's the windy app right there. What they're reporting, 29 degrees in Longapo. I can tell you right now, it's just been a beautiful, beautiful day. Boom, coming off the top ropes of the Octagon, McMiller. Let me get put that up on the broadcast right there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So on the windy app, it looks like the Philippines is just really nothing going on. And I can tell you, last night, it was a clear night. I could see stars. It was cool. It was just a beautiful, beautiful night. And it's a beautiful day here now. So there's the windy app. Let's take a look at Zoom Earth to see any cloud cover going on. And as you can see, for the most part, the Philippines looks pretty good right now. And then we'll come over here to the official one. And again, I got to put all these links down in the description, but this is from Pagasa. It's panahan.gov.ph. It's like a local version of the Windy app. This is what I used the entire time of the typhoon reporting. So there you go. It looks like the Philippines, other than, down south, around Mindanao, it looks like pretty much everything is clear. I need to go the other direction. Whoa. Try to zoom out there. There we go. So get a more regional picture there. That's your current weather here in the Philippines. And if you want to know a ground truth picture of what my weather is doing, there you go right there. It's so sunny in the background, the sky is so bright, but just a beautiful cool breeze, warm, sunny day here in the Philippines. At least it is on Subic Bay. So there's your weather. There's your weather report right there. So have I covered everything under my vent? If you're just joining me, I come up with this acronym called VENT. Volcanoes, earthquakes, news, and typhoon reporting. So there you go. I guess what I should do is zoom out. Now on this local app, you can't zoom out too far. I'll have to go over, let's go back over to Windy. Where's the damn zoom button? I don't see no zoom button. How about over here? Got a zoom button? July 16. It looks like that's an updated picture. There you go. There's the zoom right there. Do we see anything over here? Looks like there's always weather over here to our east. Always weather over here to our east. So we can make our own interpretations, or what we can do is go ahead and go to the source, Pagasa. Alright, so let's check and see if there's any tropical cyclone bulletin active at the moment. And no active tropical cyclone within the Philippine area of responsibility. Let's go over and see if there are any weather advisories. As of today, there is no weather advisory issued. Okay, so there you go. That's coming straight from the government sources. There's your current picture of what's going on here. Pretty much beautiful weather unless you're down south, Mindanao, somewhere down that way. Maybe you're getting some rain. There you go. There's your weather report. So I think I've covered my vent. Now I didn't talk about tsunamis or landslides, but I don't know if I really need to add them into the vent acronym, or I just keep that as is. Let me know what you think. Vent. I'm going to vent. In other words, give you a quick snapshot of what's going on here in the PI. Or it could just be silly as hell. Alright, over to your comments here. Let me get caught up. That's pretty much the meat and potatoes of the news report of what's going on here. See, Kel, how you doing? Obviously issues going on down there in the Strait of Hormuz, everything going on over there in Iran. That's right, Jeff, get busy living. Get busy living, in the words of Red. As my old man says, don't worry about dying. Death gonna take care of itself. Always has, always will. Just worry about living. Let's see, Jeff says only the worst news is reported in the US or elsewhere. Traveling abroad opens your eyes that most people just want to live their life in peace. There are exceptions, but I refuse to live in fear long ago. Very good point. A couple back-to-back incidents that happen to involve Americans, it makes the news. If it were local folks, it would make local news. It would not make U.S. news. But because a couple of gringos over here get shot, it's going to make the news, and then people are going to follow the story. But what does it boil down to? One, possibly a domestic. Number two, a street robbery. Wrong place at the wrong time. That's what it boils down to. So, living here in Southeast Asia, again, I've never felt the need to be armed. I've had one incident where, personally, now, we did get pickpocketed, sort of. We got flash mob down in Cebu City, if you want to count that. Some kids' hands go in pockets. They got, 20 pesos, my bait money. And then the chick lifted my cell phone from my pocket in Angeles City. That's just, non-violent getting pickpocketed. And the cell phone was my own fault because I was, rolling back 3 in the morning, whatever it was. Had no business walking back, but I just don't have any fear. Had trikes 150 pesos. Nah, I'll just walk from Walking Street back to my buddy's hotel. 3 in the morning. Girl came up, gave me a big hug, and hands went into my pocket, lifted my phone. My fault. Why? Because I have a zippered pocket, and I just didn't have it in the right pocket. Why? Because I was drunk. My own fault. Does that make me afraid to walk at night over there? Nope. Sure doesn't. I'm not going to live my life in fear. And Southeast Asia, compared to most places in America, are much, much safer. That's my personal opinion. Don't feel the need to arm myself over here. Yeah, a lot of them over there want 150. Want 150 to go anywhere. And I remember it was when we were living, when Helen of Troy was around. Usually you walk out to the trikes and, you bargain with them, what have you. And then like overnight, the trike organizations must have had a meeting and said 150, don't deviate from it. I don't know what went down. But taking a trike over there, it's cheaper to take Grab. A lot of times it's cheaper to take Grab. And you're like, how does that work? Cheaper to take a car and ride in air conditioning than ride a trike? Yeah. Yeah, pretty simple. You encounter some ladyboys at 2 in the morning and you're drunk and they're trying to pick your pockets. Pretty simple. Yes, a Grab car most of the time is cheaper than a trike. Even on the short runs. They want 150, the Grab car maybe like 130 or whatever. So definitely much better to take Grab over there. Which is sad because the trike drivers don't realize how much money they're losing because they're not willing to bargain or lower the price to compete with Grab. Yeah, there you go. Same price as a trike. Let's see, why are you with... Now, if you're out late at night, whether you're on Burgos Street or, in Thailand, the ladyboys go out at night. It's just the way it is, right? And I'm not saying anything against ladyboys in general, but if you encounter a group of ladyboys at 3 in the morning out on the streets, yeah, that's their purpose. They're trying to pickpocket you because they know you're drunk, and that's when they go out and when they hunt, right? So you just got to avoid them. All right, got 87 thumbs up already. I got 1 thumbs down. Thank you very much. Yeah, and like I used to go to Burgos Street a lot, there's an ATM right around the corner from Burgos, and they used to hang out around that ATM sort of loosely. And so you never wanted to go to that ATM machine at night for many reasons, but in that area specifically because the ladyboys, they're just loosely watching the ATM. They know that if your ass breaks down and go to the ATM at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's because you're drunk, you're out of money, you need to recharge because you're going back into the bar where you just ran out of money. And so, hey, what are they going to do? They know you're loaded up when you come out of there. You know, and it's usually not a violent encounter or anything like that. They're just going to come up. One's going to give you a hug. The other one's lifting your wallet. Just a pickpocket. All right, let me see what else I got over here queued up in the line of news. Are we still up on Twitch? Yep, looks like we're still up on Twitch. We're still up on Kick. So if you're tuning in from them platforms, thank you very much. Let me go around the horn here and see how many followers I got on Kick now. I got 23 followers over on Kick. Thank y'all very much. Certainly appreciate that. 23 and... No, that's on Twitch. I'm not sure how many I got over on Kick. But folks, that's your news. That's your news. Coming out of here, I don't know anything else really that's impacting my life too much. We just got great weather going on right now after many days of rain. You know, if you were following the typhoon that went through, all we got was some rain at night and no damage, no flooding, nothing like that. We were all good. So all that typhoon reporting, which I'm going to continue to do that, but really that typhoon did not affect us. Just got some rain. Yeah, G-Pop, go over there to Kick. All the handles are at Overstay Road. I was broadcasting on Facebook. Something happened and now it doesn't work. I said, you know what, forget that. I don't have time to mess with that. Instagram gives me an hour and I got to push an extra button and do some extra steps. I'm like, get rid of that. But Twitch and Kick, once you set everything up, Twitch, I don't have to do nothing. It just automatically goes live with the YouTube video. Over on Kick, all I have to do is go in there and edit the title and some tags. It takes like 30 seconds. They're very easy and they're very reliable. Knock on wood so far. Okay, boom, just broke the 100 thumbs up barrier. Thank y'all very much. 102 thumbs up with 2 thumbs down. Mr. G, yeah, school got canceled, a couple days due to weather. You know, no big deal. But, you know, just in a nutshell, the super typhoon that rolled through did not impact us other than just a little bit of heavy rain. A couple days out of school. We'll take that all day long. But again, living over here in Subic or living in the Angeles, that's usually all that happens. You just get some rain. Not like living down, you know, in her village or what have you. Any areas over there that takes the initial brunt of the storm. Let's see, Wade says, I will never like any of this guy's videos. I have watched for entertainment over the years, and that was bad enough. Unfortunately, I could never justify liking someone who is with 2 women. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, who owns Kick and Twitch? I got no idea. I'll tell you how it broke down. I'm a YouTube player, right? I'm not on any other social media. I don't really. I'm on YouTube. I'm sort of like Mr. Beast. I'm on one platform. I'm on YouTube. My buddy said, hey man, why aren't you streaming simultaneously to all these other platforms? I said, well, that's a good question. I don't know exactly how to do it, but the software can do it. He said, well, why aren't you doing that? It's not any additional time, and you're putting more airtime out there. So he punked me out. So I spent a day, and I got Facebook and Instagram, and what was the other one? I think it was Twitch. I got all those hooked up, and they were working fine. And then Facebook just disconnected. I don't know what happened there. And then you find folks out there said, hey man, well, that's how it broke down. Check out Twitch. Check out Kick. I didn't know what it was. I went over there. Twitch and Kick are very easy to get set up on, and they seem to be very reliable so far. And again, it's just very easy to stream to those two platforms simultaneously. So that's how I'm up on those. Somebody said that they're video game specific. That's what their focus is. Well, I'm not playing no video games, but I'm up on the platforms. Okay, Eyelash says upgrade to 3 women to get liked. Yeah, I'm not sure. Everybody's got their own opinions. The way I take that, don't approve my lifestyle having more than one woman. Well, I don't tell anybody else how to live their life. If you are going to stay married to the same woman for 40 years, that's your life. As long as that makes you happy, hey, that's your business. That's not the path that my life has taken me on. Okay? 2 women are better than 1. 3, they eat too much rice. Plus, you don't fit in the bed right. You know what I mean? If you got 2 women, you're in the middle, one here, like this, wonderful. You got 3, where the hell is the third one going to go? It's a little awkward. So 2 is my magic number. Let's see. Twitch is owned by Amazon, and Kick is owned by that online casino stake. Yeah, I don't know nothing about them. Now, Wade, I appreciate all your comments, man. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. It's okay to disagree. I love it when people disagree with me. I got no problem with it. Got no problem at all. But, I think we can all agree on that we all don't live our lives the same way. We all don't have the same exact beliefs. If we did, we'd all be like robots. So I appreciate your opinion, but I'm living my life the way I want to live my life, not asking anybody else's permission. That's just the way it's going to be. That's it. As long as you're happy, why do you care what other people think about you? At the end of the day, when you crawl into bed, it's nobody else's business. Whether your wife is short, tall, fat, skinny. I got 2 in the bed, 3 in the bed, 1 in the bed, or I'm sleeping by myself. As long as I'm happy, that's my business. Yeah, Phil, 2 is a better number for me than 3. There's also some psychology and dynamics behind that. When you have 3, what happens is this. If you have 3 ladies, 2 of them will team up and they'll go over here. And then it ends up being you and 1 chick versus this team over here. It messes with the harmony. Where if it's just the 3 of you, there's harmony. And there's science and physics behind that. Nikola Tesla said, if you understood the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you would understand the universe. And so, that applies to women as well. It just doesn't work out real well if you got 3 chicks. How did we get off on that? I could do a whole video on that psychology. Yeah, they gang up on you. They gang up on you. Well, even with 2, they'll gang up on you. But it doesn't create the dynamic where there's 2 teams. If you're 3, there's 1 team. They're gonna gang up on you, but you're still 1 team. When you have 3 ladies, there becomes 2 teams. 2 teams of 2s, it creates problems. Alright, let me come over here and check around the horn here. Okay, so actually my products got put on there today. I was talking about these products yesterday, up on the shelf, a little product placement. Well, not them beanie weenies right there, but the stuff up there, and they somehow didn't make it. So I kept saying the links are in the video, but there were no links. I screwed something up, but it looks like today I can see my Yeti cup there. Yeah, right there. Got some product placement going on here. And where's the other one? Oh, the other one is, I was talking about this hoodie. Okay, this hoodie right here is 100% cotton by Wrangler. Nice light sun hoodie. Not made in China. And you can get it at Walmart. And I was talking all this about this thing yesterday. I didn't have the link, but I got it there today. Pretty good, like $20 at Walmart. Nice little hoodie. Hey Clarence, how you doing, my friend? Life's treating me wonderful. Everybody's good. G-Pop says, as long as they do the chores, I could care less. Yeah, 4, there's no resonance and no harmony in the number. That's just my personal experience. Like that show, Three's Company. You know how there was just that harmony, right? If it was Four's Company, it wouldn't have been, the show wouldn't have made it. It had to be Three's Company. And throughout the years, here on the show, you see three, the number 3 works out well. I'm not the one who made that up. That comes from Tesla. That's what he said. If you understood the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you understand the universe, or something like that. Rapid City, South Dakota, checking in. I Laugh says, I got 3 motorcycles and only 1 woman at a time on the back. That's why I like that scooter I got out there, that Yamaha. I could fit 4 on there. Probably only 2 Filipinas if Big Pumpkin's on the back. Nah, man, I got this one hoodie, right? This little sun hoodie here. And I'm over on Twitch and I'm over on Kick. I'm trying to appeal to the younger audience where I can get some younger followers. Now look, most of you fine folks out there, you're my age or older. Majority of our viewers are around the age of 65. That's the majority. But at some point I got to start trying to get the younger generation to start watching the show and tuning in. I said, man, how can I connect with the younger generation? I don't know nothing about what they do or what they talk about. Or they're playing these damn video games. I said, aha, they all wear hoodies. I got one hoodie. I'm going to wear this hoodie. See if it don't give me some more, a closer connection to the younger generation out there. But I tell you what, I don't know how long I can wear it because it's starting to get a little warm on the tin roof. I ain't got no air conditioner up in here. Old single dad's starting to sweat. Starting to sweat in this hoodie. But I don't know. What you think? You think wearing a hoodie is going to help me connect with the younger generation out there? I'm not really a hoodie type of guy. I'm more of, I guess what they call these days, like heritage wear. You know, I like Western button-up snap shirts, all that good stuff. Stay away from that polyester, Maximus. Man, you're wearing a trash bag, man. You got to get 100% cotton or hemp or wool. Reason you sweat because you're wearing the polyester. It'll dry fast because it's plastic. But if you don't wear polyester in the first place, you'll be cool as a cucumber because it breathes. Yeah, I had a real good hoodie with a zipper. Y'all seen it before? No, it was a zipper? Yeah, I think it was. Anyhow, I had a camo, Realtree camo Carhartt hoodie. I think I still got Big Pumpkins, but the hoodie went in the trash can when I did that Boston Tea Party back in the day. That was one of the pieces that went to the garbage man. Yeah, the younger generation don't want girls and alcohol. That's why trying to talk to them or relate to them is like talking to aliens from another galaxy. This is the best I could come up with. They wear hoodies, I put a hoodie on. Maybe they're looking at me from Twitch or a Kick saying, aha, he's one of us, I'm going to subscribe. Probably not. But I'm making the attempt. Let's see, Wade's. Okay, again, everybody's got their beliefs. They got their own beliefs and their own opinions and perspectives. Unfortunately, it's false. Okay, but that's one man's opinion. Obviously, from their perspective, it's not. And speaking of them folks, you see them folks walking around here all the time. All the time, walking around, trying to spread the word. I mean, like, a lot of them you see walking around are teenagers. You know, American teenagers walking around, spreading the word, and you're like, don't y'all got to go to school somewhere? You're over here in the Philippines knocking on people's doors. What are you, 14 years old, 15 years old? Going around knocking on doors all day long. Okay, so you got a cotton shirt on under the hoodie. All right. Yeah, Brad, much more relaxed than the hoodie, but I'll be honest, I feel like a bum. I mean, I'm relaxed, but I feel like, just a couch potato. I mean, my shirt's not tucked in. This thing's all wrinkled up. It's a hoodie. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll grow on me. Lose everybody when you start quoting Kid Rock, talking about 80s movies. Yeah. What's crazy is when they talk about like collecting things, collecting antiques or classic pieces, the shit that we grew up with. Like, what the hell are you talking about, a classic piece? You know what I mean? Or an antique gaming system. Hey man, that's Atari. What are you talking about? I remember when I got my Atari. I'm calling it an antique. Plaid polyester leisure suit. Yeah, I'm just trying to get away from the polyester. I don't think I have too many things that are polyester these days. It's all natural fibers. Atari cost $199 in 1979. Yep, that was part of making all of us lazy. Boom! Surigao Island reporting in. Philly of the Philippines in the house. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well down there. Boom! McMiller coming off the top ropes. Thank you very much, McMiller. Yeah, I may have to go back to drinking here pretty soon. With as crazy as the world is these days, right? Why am I worried about drinking a few beers when there's so many other more dangerous things in the world? It's like that saying, why am I worried about something that'll kill me 30 years from now when there's so many things that can kill me today? What movie was that from? I quoted a lot. Thank you very much, Wade. Yeah, man, I feel like a champion. The big thing was just, having too many pounds on my old ass due to drinking too much. Again, I'll say it a million times. I stand behind this, that most folks, especially Americans, we Americans, our health problems stem from just being overweight and a combination of taking too many medications. And that's my personal experience. Your knees hurt, you can't breathe at night, you snore like a chainsaw. It's all because we're too fat. So if you give up the meds and get the weight off, you're going to feel so much better. And a lot of those little health problems that bother you on a daily basis and impact your life will just go away. I don't snore no more. But back when I had all that weight on, I snored like a chainsaw. So obviously now I get a much better night's sleep because I'm not struggling to breathe all night. That's right, Lord of War. Hey Texan, how you doing? Okay, Kel's reporting there's 32 folks dead now in that the bar fire over in Bangkok. So a couple more or 5 more folks succumbed to their injuries. We covered that in a previous video. And again, see, it's one of those things where, well, those types of incidents, they're going to get worldwide coverage. And we talked about the bar fire on New Year's Eve / New Year's Day over in Switzerland. It killed more than the recent bar fire in Bangkok. And you're talking about, very regulated country over there with all the safety procedures and checks and balances in place. So even in a country like that, the bar fire killed more people than the one that just went down in Bangkok. And so it's, hey Papa Smurf, how you doing? Checking in from NYC. And Papa Smurf can back me up on this. You put too many people in a building and a fire breaks out and spreads quickly and the lights go out, not everybody's going to get out. Don't matter what country you're in, they're gonna jump on Thailand and say that the regulations were lax. That's just really unfair. It's just really unfair to say, but that's what they're gonna say. It just happened in Switzerland 6 months ago. It killed more people. The nightclub fires in the U.S. have killed more people. But a lot of things that happen over here in Southeast Asia, everybody will just jump on the bandwagon. Oh, it's lax regulation, blah, blah, blah. It's not really fair for them to go down that road. You put too many people in a room, limited exits, fire breaks out, the power goes out, not everybody's going to make it out. Okay, G-Pop says a boat went down off of Alcatraz. Used to fish out there often. I saw I didn't click on the article, but I saw the picture of the boat taking on water. I don't know the whole story there. Okay, McMiller says, I never smoked, did drugs, or married Jane. I was at, let's see, 26, 220 pounds. 57, I got fat, 265. Back at 65 years, down to 239. Yeah, my number was like 30 pounds. First time I got fat was like 30. This last time was probably around there, 30, 35. That doesn't sound like a whole lot of weight, but you can look at the video. You can look at who I was, how I looked 2 years ago. And I haven't stepped on the scales. I don't know exactly where I'm at right now, but I can estimate it's around 30, because that's what happened to me before. It's like I put 1 million beers a day down my throat. I'm putting on 30 pounds. I don't want to say that's as high as I could go, but it's like 30 pounds was enough to make me look not normal. It was like I had a pumpkin sitting on my shoulders. Let's see, the Great White Bar Fire in Rhode Island was terrible. Yes, there's all kind of throughout history, recent history, different countries, these bar fires. Let's see, Lilibeth, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. And Richard said we have a tornado here in San Antonio today. Yeah, crazy currents out in that bay. Did they ever get to the bottom of it, whether or not those 3 who escaped from Alcatraz actually made it in their swim? Did we ever get to the bottom of that? Boom! SoFlo 305X coming off the top ropes. Let's see. Why you let the Filipinas gain weight after having a baby? Fatima and Janice were so much skinnier before and didn't lose any weight after. Well, that's a very good observation and question. If you go back through the videos, when Big Pumpkin had Forrest G, very quickly after giving birth, she was back down to Skinny Minnie. She was just went back down to Skinny Minnie, went back down to her normal self. And obviously she's put on some kilos. Okay, statement of fact. Not trying to be mean, but she's obviously put on a lot of kilos. The question is why? How did you pop out a kid and go right back to looking, was she a size 0? And then now she's obviously put on a lot of weight. And I think Lilibeth says exactly what's happening. They ate more rice. There you go. The rice will put the pounds on quicker than anything. Too much rice. I think that's cause number 1. And obviously they're getting older. When she had Forrest G, what was she, 20 years old? I met her when she was 19, so I guess, 20, 21, somewhere in there. I'd have to do the math. But they're not spring chickens anymore. So obviously the metabolism is slowing down a little bit, but a big thing is they're eating more rice. Yeah, they're not getting any taller, they're getting wider. And Clarence, you have a blessed week yourself, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Papa Smurf says it's terrible to breathe from the Canadian fires in New York City. Yeah, but I do suspect the rice, because we went down to her village. I talked about it. Her diet, the percentage of rice just skyrocketed. We came back up to Angeles City. I didn't buy a rice cooker, and she was going down. She was losing kilos because we didn't own a rice cooker. We were eating rice like every 3-4 nights. I wanted the kids to eat different stuff. What happened the minute I bought that little rice cooker? And I bought the smallest one they had at the SM. Even with that tiny rice cooker, she's been gaining weight. It all has to do with too much rice. And we can do an experiment. I can, do some type of durability test on her rice cooker and not have a rice cooker for 2 or 3 months, and you would see a significant weight loss just by taking that out of your diet, or taking the percentage out of her diet. She would lose weight. Now tell me if you think this is a good idea for a video. I come up with this the other night. And I'll have to put the camera in front of Big Pumpkin's face when I bring it up, because she's already been grumbling. But I thought about this for a video. Here's the title. Whoever throws my wife's rice cooker the farthest gets to keep it. How about that for a video? Take her little rice cooker out to the open field. Mark off a line right there. They can do the shot put. They can do the, the hammer throw, whatever they want to do. Whoever throws her rice cooker the farthest takes it home with them. They get to keep it. I mean, I'd be entertained. But she got pissed when I suggested that video to her. Yeah, Lilithus says it right there. They don't care if they got less meat, as long as they have a big bowl of rice, they're good. Hey, look, living in Thailand, like what the percent? Let's just do a percentage of diets, right? When I'm in Thailand, okay, I eat rice, but the percentage is, if I'm just eating Thai food, my percentage, I don't know, what would it be? 15% of what I eat is rice. Versus over here, it's like 90 to 95% the diet is just rice, with just a little something to flavor the rice. Very different on the diets. Just too much focus on the rice. Yeah, rice is life, but rice is also put kilos on your backside and your belly. I told Big Pumpkin, I mean, you know me these days. She's lucky. Because I like big and I cannot lie. I told her keep eating. Matter of fact, double down on the ice creams. Every time I can, I buy that old girl ice cream. I love it. See, hey Chris, how you doing? Checking in from Indiana. Well, I mean, once they throw the rice cooker a few times, it could be broken. I just have to write that off as an operational expense. What could I do? You know what I mean? But I think it would be entertaining. Put Big Pumpkin over there watching, put a camera on her. Get the ladies step up to the plate. How far can you throw the rice cooker? You mark it off. And they can use any method they want. Personally, I think you could throw it the farthest if you did like the hammer throw with the extension cord, That's just me. And Mike says, my woman stopped eating rice and has lost weight and gained more energy. She now works out every day. I will agree, because like everybody says, that rice is basically converted into sugars or what have you, so you hit this spike. They eat that rice, then they crash, they want to take a nap. They wake up from the nap, and then they want more rice. See, Gregory, how you doing, my friend? Watching you on my 55-inch. Shout out from Las Cruces. Hope you're doing well. Boom! David Vidalis coming off the top ropes of the octagon. Thank you very much. Just off of work today. All right, man. Got the day off. That's awesome. Yeah, everything's going well over here. Beautiful weather today. And Lilibeth brings up a good point. She can still cook rice without the rice cooker. And that's what she was doing when we first came up to Angeli. She had that little aluminum pot, little small pot. But I think there's a psychological difference of having to cook it in that pot versus she's in this routine. What does she do now? Wake up, the first thing she does is load the rice cooker. The rice cooker, like that one comedian said, growing up with a Filipino mother, you can always find your way to the kitchen for that orange light, that glow on the rice cooker. Any hour of the day or night, you can always find your way to the kitchen by the light of the rice cooker. Whereas when we just had the pot, I don't know, it just wasn't as easy. It just was, it was a little more effort maybe. She had to watch it. She had to take a look. With the rice cooker, what do? Put the rice, wash it, plug it in, click, and walk away. So she was cooking and eating much less rice when she had to physically cook it on the stovetop in a pot. So the rice cooker's evil. It's absolutely just makes it too easy to eat too much. There you go. Another problem too. Recently, we found a brand of rice that we really love. Now, when I first moved to Southeast Asia, rice was rice. Uncle Ben's. Get it in that little plastic thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Microwave rice. If I had some rice, I put sugar all over the top of it. Rice was rice. But now, I know what the cheap rice is. I know what the middle rice is. I know what the good rice is. And this is what I think. Most people, you can tell the cheap rice, the NFA stuff, and you can tell the jasmine. In the middle, it's very hard to tell. But we've been buying this Coco Pandan rice, and it's delicious. You know what I mean? I don't think too many times I've said that about rice, but it's a very good tasting rice, just to eat it plain. So that's a problem as well. We found a rice that's just naturally delicious. Okay, so let's see. What happened to Fatima's steamer iron? Nope, she uses it every day, but on the children's school uniforms. On anybody else's, no. But it does get used on both of their uniforms. So yeah, it's every day she uses the hell out of that steamer. But not for my hoodies, not for my t-shirts, not for my shirts, only for the kids' school uniform. And it's still going strong. Yeah, I've talked about this many times, about that miracle shot that Americans are taking over there to lose weight. And thank you for putting it on the screen. I always call it Olympic, but it's called Ozempic. And when I first heard about that, I said, y'all are silly to take that shit. In 5 years, there'll be another class action lawsuit, everybody dying early because of that shit. And here you go. They've got deaths already, people's bones riddled with holes and cavities. Anytime the pharmaceutical company comes out with a new miracle drug, and you younger folks listening to me, you're not going to believe it because you haven't lived through it. But guys, my age or older, we've all lived through several cycles in our lifetimes of miracle drugs. They roll out, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, they push the hell out of it. And what happens in 5 to 10 years? They figure out it ain't good for you. And there's a class action lawsuit. If you took any of that, you get papers in the mail wanting to join the class action lawsuit. So when it's all settled, you get your check for 32 cents. Here's your 32 cents, and we took 10 years off your life. Have a nice day. Oh, by the way, we got this new thing called Ozempic. You can be fat as fuck and eat all you want. We'll just give you some injections and you'll lose weight. Come on down. Come on down with your 32 cents that you made off the last class action lawsuit where we took 10 years off your life, and now come buy this shit where we can take 10 more. It's just silliness. Weight loss should save you money. It shouldn't cost you money. You should not. You don't need to spend anything on weight loss. Okay, you change your diet, you eat less, and you start walking. That should save you money. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to eat that whey and your curds and whey and your energy steroid drinks, and you carry around this shake and eat 4 strawberry smoothies. None of that bullshit. That's all bullshit. Okay? Stop putting so much food in your mouth and start walking. There you go. But nobody's going to back that up. Why? Because ain't nobody going to make no money. Ain't nobody going to make no money unless you go out and buy them steroid shakes, them strawberry smoothies in that treadmill. That'll turn into a clothes rack. I think all of us, I won't say all of us, but I'll tell on myself. I had a treadmill too at one time in life, like everybody else did. Thought I needed a treadmill. What is it used for? You hang clothes on it in the living room. It's a $1,000 very expensive clothes rack. I don't even know what a GLP-1 med is. I used to be in the medical field. It just don't sound healthy to me. Hey Perry, how you doing? Kev checking in. SoFlo says there's already reports of people with Ozempic going blind. What do you expect? Here's a new drug. We're going to inject you with it and you're going to lose weight. But it's safe. But it's brand new. And Gregory says, I'm 61, take a multivitamin and walk 8 miles a day. That's what you got to do. Just walk. Go walk every day. I don't even take the vitamins. Why? Because I don't trust them. Might be a little bit paranoid, but I don't want nothing. I don't want anything produced by the pharmaceutical companies. I don't want anything. Don't give me a vitamin. Don't give me supplements. Don't give me fish oil. Nothing. I'll take meat and vegetables and a barbecue grill. That's all I need. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? Okay, we eat too much and we get fat as hell. And then you want an injection to solve the problem. How about just go to the root of the problem and don't eat so much? It really has to do with how much you put in your mouth. Yeah, you got to eat clean, you got to do this, but let me ask you this. Okay? And I've done this experiment with my own body, eating 1 time a day. So for example, if you eat 1 Big Mac a day, are you going to get fat? Probably not, right? If you eat 10 Big Macs a day, you're going to be fat as hell. There you go. That's my point. It is about what you eat, but the main thing is about how much you eat of a lot of foods. 1 Big Mac a day, you're not going to be like that dude Jared on Subway before he lost all that weight. Eat 10, yeah, you're going to look like that dude. Yeah, I'm not taking any meds. That's just me. I'm not taking any meds. If they say, hey man, you got a touch of diabetes, I'll deal with it in what I eat and what I don't eat. not going to the pharmaceutical company to solve a problem for me. And look, I'm not saying that's for everybody. Certain people, they need certain medications. But if you tell me you're taking 12 or 14 meds, I'll tell you right now, you probably only need one or two. Probably can live with only one or two, and you'll feel better and you'll be better off. And if you're overweight, probably if you lose all that weight, you don't need any of those meds. Oh, okay, so this Ozempic is what they call a GLP-1. But there you go. That's how we were brought up, right? They have the entire United States convinced that our portions are normal and that if we don't eat 3 to 5 times a day, we'll starve to death. Yeah, it's all just bullshit. Again, I used to eat 1 time a day at 6 p.m. I could eat anything, any quantity. My weight did not fluctuate. I felt great. But it goes against, to try to preach that, and this the doctor in Canada, I can't remember his name, but he's the one who talks about all this fasting and stuff. Man, they have tried to shut that guy up and shut him down. The food industry tried to discredit that guy. Why? Because if people start eating less or start eating 1 time a day or pulling these 3-day fasts, their sales charts are going like this. You got to suppress the guy, the same as the oil companies have to suppress anybody that comes up with a fuel efficient carburetor, because it's going to impact their profits. So if you sit there and recommend to somebody to go on a fast, oh, that's not safe, blah, 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 blah. See Steve checking in from New Zealand. Yeah, everybody's different. Our metabolisms are different. Everybody's body is different. But throughout human history, we didn't start out by eating 3 square meals a day according to the food groups and the pyramid or whatever the hell the U.S. is putting out now. We ate when the opportunity presented itself. Let's see, BWW, how you doing? Yeah, we're all different, but if you're fat as a house, you're eating too much. It's pretty simple. There you go. Overweight, you're eating too much. Don't think I have a valid point? Okay, go back and watch documentaries from any war where there's been POWs. Have you ever seen a fat POW get released? No. Why? Because they weren't eating enough. Eat 1 Big Mac a day, see what happens. See what happens. Then eat 15 or 20 Big Macs a day and see what happens. There you go. Nah, I don't pound the kids with sodas and refined foods. They do get, we share a Coke or 2 a day. Get a bag of chips or 2 a day. You know what? I grew up eating a hell of a lot more chips than that. A bologna sandwich and a damn old big bag of Lay's sour cream and onion chips. I'd eat 2 sandwiches with big thick slices of cheddar cheese on there. Big old thing of mayonnaise. I eat that whole damn bag of chips. I turned out alright. The bag of chips that they get here is so small, it's like, where's the beef? Ain't many chips in them little things of chips that Forrest G gets. And we usually share a Coke, so everybody really gets like 2 swallows of Coke. There you go, Kel. Thanks for summarizing that. Fasting after a few days initiates what they call, is it called autophagy? The process where the body eats its own disease cells, getting rid of cancer risk and many other diseases. And it makes sense. And the way it's described, if you listen to these doctors, they say, hey, look, if you start fasting, the body's going to use up all the natural energy sources until they are depleted. And then the body starts looking around and say, man, I'm hungry. Them cancer cells over there look delicious. And they start eating the cancer cells. That's the theory and the science of what they say is behind it, where historically that's how our bodies have operated. So now by bolusing ourselves with 3 meals a day, snacks and everything else, we never allow the body to go into that sort of self-cleansing mode. It's quite the opposite. We're just putting too much, and then it just starts storing up fat. So the bad cells, the cancer cells, everything else, they're quite safe, because the body is going to eat, the natural sources, the fat and everything else, before they even start to look around at the cancer cells. So it makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll tell you what, just how I feel. I go on a 4-day fast, and I come off of that fast, and I feel like I could, well, these days it wouldn't be a great chore or a great feat. I feel like I could knock Conor McGregor out in one punch. Just do a 3 or 4 day fast. You could run a marathon. You just feel like Superman. Why is that? You think you would feel weak, but for me it's quite the opposite. All right, let me go around the horn here, see how many people are tuning in. Am I still up on Twitch? Yep, still going strong on Twitch. Kick. Oh yeah, solid platforms. Absolutely solid. Broadcasting to 3 platforms simultaneously. I'll give Twitter a try. X, whatever he's calling it. I gotta send him some bones. Elon wants that money. He needs that $3-4 a month so I can live stream on Twitter. Well, let's change the subject a minute. Talking about that fight, my buddy, I didn't watch the fight. I didn't pay for the fights. That last UFC fight with Conor McGregor and who was it? Max Holloway? Is that right? But my buddy brought up, he said that there was a lot of speculation that his knee was already injured. He was already injured, and he got into the ring just to go through the motions for a few seconds, a minute or two, where he could get paid. And I'm just telling you what my buddy said. I don't know nothing about that. But we were just talking about how the guy should have just went ahead and retired and hung it up and moved on to other aspects of being involved in the sport. Instead, tries to come back and just doesn't look like the same person, and now there's speculation of whether or not he was injured already. Who the hell knows? I think when you get to that point, you make that much money, you quit while you're ahead. It's not the same as quitting. You become a coach, promoter, whatever you're going to do. You stay in that, stay in the sport, but it's time to move on from stepping into the ring. And I don't know, some of y'all will, if y'all remember Riddick Bowe. When I was, he came to Pattaya years ago, came to Thailand, was going to do Muay Thai. I was so excited to see that dude, big name. He didn't last too long in the ring with that guy. He stepped into the ring with a real Muay Thai fighter and spent most of his time on the mat. Had to be carried up out of there. And I said the same thing about him. You shouldn't have done that, man. You should have just done something else, something different within the sport, but not stepping back into the ring. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I guess we can talk about the spoilers, but it's been several days. Stepped into the ring, did a kick, and then they stopped the fight because he blew out his knee. And then the rumors and the speculation going around, according to my buddy, was that his knee was already injured. He was having trouble or wobbling before he got into the ring. That's what he said. I haven't seen that footage myself. Therefore, speculation, hey, you were injured before you stepped into the ring, man. Should have been canceled. But again, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. I just took a look at him. I'm like, man, I saw some pictures about a year ago. I guess he was taking some type of, well, I'd be speculating. The dude don't look the same, right? His jawline, everything looks different. He just don't look like the same person. They've been taking something. Yeah, you know, over, let's see, Guitar Jams, you're in Thailand, right? My cable package I had over there, which was, I don't know, what, like $10 a month. I used to get all the UFC fights for free. I don't know how that shit worked, but, you know, you folks in America were having to pay pay-per-view to watch UFC. And initially in Thailand, I had to get up early in the morning and go to a bar that was covering the fights, right? Which was a good time. But at some point, my cable, one of the channels, started carrying all the UFC fights. It was like $10 a month. You know, you got 150 channels, whatever. One of the sports channels carried the UFC fights. And I didn't have to get up and go to the bars anymore early in the morning. And y'all were paying $100 pay-per-view, whatever it was. I don't know how the hell that shit worked out, but I was loving it. All right, Brad says Conor had one more fight on his contract. He had to fight one more time to break free. Well, there you go. You got to get into the ring. You at least got to get into the ring to meet that requirement. But if you paid big money, that's the point of my buddy's story. He said people even up in the nosebleed seats were paying like $300, $400, $500 to see that fight, and it was a big letdown, to say the least. Yeah, his face, his jawline just doesn't look the same. It just doesn't look the same. Then they showed a picture of his hands at one point. Looks like he's looked like Tom Cruise's hands on Tropic Thunder. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But living a normal life, your face don't change like that. There's something pharmaceutical going on, if I had to guess. Yeah, these days we just watch YouTube. Most everything on YouTube, and now I got Netflix back, but you know, in a month or two, maybe we get tired of it and I cancel it. It's only a few bucks. We get the full P version. And then on these Samsung TVs, you got all these free channels and stuff. We got plenty of TV stuff. But I haven't followed UFC in a long time. Yeah, I grew up watching Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes. All right, folks, we got 119, 121 folks joining us. And I was like, what do I call this show? Well, let's call it Live from Southeast Asia. And I'll start the show out with the vent report. Volcanoes, earthquakes, news, and typhoon report. What do you think about this format? Now look, I'm not giving up on producing normal videos. I'm just sort of adding to what I do here. Why? Because the timing works out. Take my daughter to school. I got the morning free. Okay, I go live with this show. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run it for 30 days and see what happens. I'll go live in the morning about the same time. around 8, 9 o'clock. I'll try to get it down to 8. I'll start the show out with the vent report. What's going on with volcanoes over here? Any earthquakes? News? Is a typhoon coming? And I'll try to get that out of the way in the first 10 minutes. Just hit the highlights. And then the rest of it, just wherever the wind blows us and what we're going to talk about. And just let me know, how do you like the background? Is the lighting, the audio okay? And I don't know if I'm even going to change the channel or change the title too much. I think I'm just going to leave it live from Southeast Asia. Maybe if there's a highlight, I'll add something to the title or just leave it like that. You know what I mean? Because thinking back, the Johnny Carson show, the Tonight Show, I don't think I really ever knew who the guest was going to be. You just knew every night you tuned into Johnny Carson. He didn't have to have a different title, right? It's the same time, same host. Let's see where the show takes us. And what I might even do is once I get the weather report and everything out of the way, maybe I put a camera in there on Big Pumpkin doing some cooking or something, you know? Yeah, paying $40 pay-per-view for a fight that lasted 30 seconds. Yeah, who wants to see that? Now look, a fight's a fight with UFC and the rules and what have you. But who wants to see... It's like Dana White said. Okay, if you can fight and win, that's one thing. But people have to want to watch you fight. So that Khabib dude... You know, all he does is jump on somebody like a damn octopus and lay on them for 3 rounds. Who wants to watch that? Not nobody. I'm glad I don't have to see that dude no more. I would never pay $1 to watch the guy fight because that's all he does. Just jump on my back, get a good grip like an octopus and lay there. I mean, who wants to watch that? Who would pay for that? Nobody. People want to see a fight. It's almost like the point that like the UFC... They need to say, hey, if you go to the ground, give them like 15 seconds and get them up. Why? Because I don't want to see that shit. Okay, great. You know your ground and pound is wonderful. It's wonderful if you're in a fight for your life, maybe, but not if the spectators don't want to watch what you're doing. So imagine this: you got 10 people on the card, and all they do is their ground game. You'd be asleep by the second round of the first fight, wanting your money back. And yeah, I'll agree. At some point, all fights go to the ground. But that's survival versus putting on a show that people want to pay to see. Yeah, we got some camping trips lined up, folks. It's just step by step. You just hang with us. You know, step 1, I had to get moved over here. Step 2, I had to get the kids in school. Just step by step. We've had some inclement weather. I got to go down and get my boat crew. See if my boat crew is still down there. And if not, I got to rustle up a new boat crew. You know, get some prices and some negotiations down. Then we'll be ready to sail. I got a cooler. Got that cooler. All we got to do is load it up with some chicken. Just throw some ice on there and roll. Tennessee Lee, how are you? Checking in from the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Yeah, don't get up to grab a snack during a Tyson fight. You might miss it. Let's see. McMiller says, I'm 65 but feel a bit younger. Get rid of that hoodie. Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to connect with my younger viewers over on Twitch and Kick. I'm trying to get up to 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers over there. This hoodie's helped bringing them in. It's bridging that generational gap. but it is a little hot in here. About to start sweating. Any Godzilla reports? No Godzilla sightings. Yeah, just talking about the fights. I mean, there's a fight, a real fight out on the street, and then there's a fight that's a show, that's a production. And just like I said, I quote Dana White. He said, "You can be the best, win every fight, but if people don't want to watch you fight, what good are you? Nobody wants to pay to watch you fight." In the end, this is the entertainment game. People are paying for entertainment. And if I watch guys sit there and lay all over each other for 3 rounds on the ground, that's not entertainment to me. You want to see some dudes slugging it out to the very end. That's action. Laying on the ground on top of each other ain't no action from an entertainment standpoint. I'm not saying they can't fight and survive, but there's 2 different things. Fighting in the street, that's one thing. Fighting in front of a camera, in front of a paying audience, is another thing. Let's see, Fabian, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I gotta pick up some pipe tobacco. And shout out to one of you fine folks. Y'all sent some bones over on PayPal. Thank you very much. And you said, hey man, go buy you some pipe tobacco. So I got to get down. I think maybe the liquor store down in Barrio Barreto. I used to get some cigars from there. I don't know if they got pipe tobacco or not, but I got to ride down there and check it out. If not, you got to just order it off of Lazada. But again, Big Pumpkin and Janice went over to the market. I said, bring me back some tobacco leaves. Because like down in Cebu, the market always has tobacco leaves and lumboy leaves. So you just get some tobacco and the lumboy leaf, and that's an all-natural cigarette. 2 ingredients. Well, they brought back like plug tobacco. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was in a plug. And, like chewing tobacco. So I dried it out. This shit still won't burn. They brought back the wrong type of tobacco. Hey John, hey man, it don't matter, man, whatever you want to send. And I know I gotta get some type of address posted. I got 2 pipes. I got one here and one over in Thailand from shout out to Edith and Carrie. Uncle Joe's pipe collection fell into their custody when he passed away, and I got 2 pipes from Uncle Joe from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. I smoke his pipes every night when I got some tobacco. Leanne, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Tennessee Lee said, I liked Evander Holyfield better than Tyson. Tyson found out later how good of a fighter he was after he took a bite out of his ear. Yeah, that was pretty crazy, wasn't it? I don't know if anybody back then saw that coming, but that was crazy. And you know what's funny? I've seen a couple of little clips on YouTube. I don't know if they still do it or if it was part of somebody's show, but it was where they would start interviewing somebody on the street, and it was called Mike Tyson is Behind You. Y'all ever see that? Funny as hell. Like Mike Tyson would be standing behind a person with his arms crossed, and they're asking them what they think about Mike Tyson. And this young brother says, well, I think he's kind of crazy. And he looks over his shoulder, and there's Mike Tyson standing there. I mean, it's funny as hell. I don't even know where to tell you to search or what show it was on. But they just go out and interview people. What do you think about Mike Tyson? Well, he's kind of crazy and blah, blah, blah. And he's standing right behind them. I mean, too damn funny. John says he inherited 250. Yeah, I don't think they in their collection they probably had 50. But yeah, so you know what I mean. They're sitting there with 50 pipes. What to do with it? They're just sitting there, some in boxes, some on display. Like, here, take a couple with you. So probably out of all of Uncle Joe's pipes, I'm the only one actually smoking his pipes. The rest of them are just in a box on display. But I use them. Yeah, Brush Bandit. Yeah, it's on YouTube, but I don't even know whose show they were doing it on. But it's something like, hey, Mike Tyson is behind you. Everybody's talking shit about him. It's funny. You know, oh yeah, he's a good dude, but, you know, he could have done this, and, well, he's right behind you. Would I let Tyson punch me for $1 million? Man. I would if the contract includes he pays all the medical bills, pays to replace my teeth, implants of my choosing, per diem, hotel room stay, my own private room in the hospital. He'd have to pay all that as well. I ain't paying for that shit out of my $1 million. Yeah, I'd do it. Let's go, dude. I'm ready to ride the pain train. Give me $1 million and insurance card. Matter of fact, I put that in the contract. You're gonna pay my health insurance for 10 years, up front. Big life insurance policy too. Let's go. Which side you want, dog? Has it been that long before? The ear bite happened in 1997. Me and my buddy were discussing some of the celebrities that went down in 2026. You know, it's been happening, and we were discussing how it's just happening more frequently. All these folks we grew up watching, these legends, they're just dropping like flies. Lamont from Sanford and Son went down this year. My goodness. People are just going down left and right. All the legends. And what the crazy thing is there's no legends coming up really taking their place. You know? The legends aren't being created like they used to. Hey, King Joseph, how you doing, my friend? And then John, I didn't see guy talking crap to him on the airplane was funny until he turned around and got in his face. No, I didn't see that one. All right, 140 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down. Thank y'all very much. Just got a thumbs down. Whoever hit that button, thank you very much for that thumbs down. I appreciate you. Again, King Joseph checking in from New Mexico. Yeah, like a lot of these legends, you know, from our generation and older. Where are the new legends that are coming up? There's no new legends. It goes along with there's no good stories. In 10 years, nobody will be able to tell a legendary story. Why? Because these young bucks are not chasing women and they're not drinking. So you tell me what they're doing that's interesting, that in 10 years they'll be able to tell a story. It's like my buddy Eric used to say, no good story ever started out with some dude eating a salad. There I was eating a salad, and then these crazy things happen. No, there's usually alcohol involved. There's women involved. But if these younger generation, yeah, you on Kick, watching me on Kick, you on Twitch. If y'all aren't drinking beer and chasing women, what the hell are you doing? I don't get it. And whatever you're doing, it's not interesting, at least to my generation. If you're not drinking beer and partying and chasing women, I don't know what y'all are doing. But my point still stands. You're not going to have any stories to tell. Not going to be any new stories. People will just be, you know what it'll be like? It'll be like Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and what's the chick's name? Lenina Huxley. What's the actress's name? It'll come to me in a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Demolition Man. Where they're living in this utopia and they're just like studying and amazed by everything that happened, back in the 80s and the 90s. Guns are in museums. Nobody says any cuss words. Nobody drinks beer. They don't even have sex with one another. It's like these, put these helmets on that reads your mind. It's like virtual. Is that where humanity is really going? It seems that way. But like all the real people live down in the basements. They're down there barbecuing rat burgers, listening to music, living like cavemen. That's where I would be. When I first saw that movie, I was like, I'd rather be down in the sewers eating rat burgers than living up there like that with all that regulation and just fakeness. Well, that's what they're doing. They're playing Call of Duty. There's nothing exciting. What kind of story are you going to tell about? There I was playing Call of Duty, and this dude did. What amazes me, and this is crazy because I'm up on Twitch and I'm up on Kick, trying to connect to younger viewers. How? I don't understand how a guy playing a video game has 20 million views. Why would you want to watch a dude playing a video game? I understand you want to play the video game. But why has society got to the point where these guys playing video games and broadcasting it live and they got millions of viewers? I don't get that. I will never understand that. Why somebody will watch another man play a video game. It's not a sport. Okay, I understand you like to play video games. I get it. But when I was growing up, I didn't want to watch you play the damn video game. I wanted you to hurry up and lose your 3 lives or whatever it was on Centipede and get the fuck off the machine and out of the way where I could play. I don't want to watch you. And now so many people on these platforms are going to sit there and watch somebody else play a video game. I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. I understand you're playing the game, but not watching somebody else play that game. It's not a sport. Yeah, I did watch that movie with Robert Redford called All Is Lost, where he's on a sailboat, hits a shipping container, and the ship goes down. I did watch that movie, and it's one of the movies where the guy does everything wrong to the point it started getting ridiculous. So I don't know if I say that's a good movie. It was one of those where, come on, man, come on. It's worth watching, but I don't know. Yeah, all the greats are going away. Nobody to replace them. See, Bonnie Tyler died, Sam Neill. Yeah, I got 146 thumbs up. Now I got 2 thumbs down. Yeah, Lamont, Hulk Hogan. Nah, there's no new real good music coming out. And now these folks are going to try to do the fake stuff with the computers. Roger Ridley, absolutely. I think I still got his playlist up. Roger Ridley was a street musician out in California. Man, that dude can sing. I listen to his stuff all the time. One of those guys who just never got discovered. Yeah, the new generation isn't into dating. They don't want to have kids. And again, I've talked about this before, how Elon Musk was saying that the real concern is population collapse. And I'm like, that don't make no sense to me, man. There's what, 8 billion, 9 billion, I don't know what it is. We got billions of people around the globe right now. Too many people. And you're worried about population collapse. Well, once he explained it and you start thinking about it, it is a cause for concern. Okay, for the population to remain the same, a woman's got to have 2 kids. So for it to be positive, it has to be 2.1, right? In other words, if you and your wife just have 2 kids, all you're doing is replacing you and her. That's a birth rate of 0. I think that's the way it works out. It's neutral. Now think about that. Every couple has to have 2 kids for the population to remain stable. For the population to go up, you have to have 3 or more. So you just said these young dudes are not chasing women. They got no interest in having kids. It would interfere with their video game time. So what is the population doing? Elon Musk is absolutely correct. People aren't getting married and having families and the white picket fence and they're not going down that route anymore. And I get it. America, most places, it's too damn expensive to have kids. So Elon is right on the money when you look at it like that. So I'm doing my best. I'm going to do my best, and I have done my best and will continue to do my best to help the population. You know, because everybody else ain't doing their best. Got to have 3 or more for it to go up. 2 just maintains it as neutral. Yeah, Sandra Bullock. That's who it is. Yeah, too much legal, illegal, ink on paper, talking about what's legal, what's not, talking about different types of guns. Any type of gun will kill you. Who cares how many rounds it'll fire a minute, the caliber? Too much ink on paper, people arguing over bullshit laws and rules in America. Americans and our paperwork. It's our own demise. Just ridiculousness. That's right, Leanne. Leanne says she's 48 with a 15-year-old daughter. The world is so much different than ours growing up. Absolutely. In the words of the principal at my kids' school, we're trying to raise kids in a very confusing and dangerous world. There you go. Those are the 2 words, descriptors that he used. He's right on the money. It's confusing and it's dangerous. Exactly, Leanne. This, what they call ASMR, and I talk about it a lot, but most of the time I'm, being a jackass about it. Where they watch these videos, listening people chew their food for an hour or 2 hours, 20 million views. I don't get it. However, I did catch my daughter watching some 20-year-old girl eat hard candy. She was crunching hard candy. And I'm like, why are you watching that? I just like to watch her eating the candy. Well, why? I understand you want to eat the candy, but she was sitting there, watching this girl eat candy. I said, don't ever turn that crap on again. You're wasting valuable brain cells. I don't get it. I don't get watching people crunch on food. I don't get one man watching another man play a video game. They call it a sport. It is not a sport. Okay, you're playing a video game. Is Chutes and Ladders a sport? No, it's a board game. It's not a sport. It's not an Olympic sport playing Chutes and Ladders. Neither is Call of Duty. Never in my mind and from my generation. Nope. But that's what the younger society is doing these days. Playing these video games. Watching grown men play the video games. Grown men watching grown men playing the video games. And therefore there's no time to go out and chase women. My goodness. Even growing up, even when we had Atari, or you had some money to go up to the ice cream shop or the 7-Eleven or the arcade, what was the priority? The priority was chasing women. Okay, if okay, I'm going up, I got some quarters, I'm gonna go up and play some Centipede, but then, two girls walking down the street, all of a sudden that vision of going to play video games, that left the building because the priority was chasing women. So Elon Musk talking about population collapse. In all these countries, what was the country recently? I know Japan. Was it Japan that's offering some incentives? One country over here is offering something that they're going to pay. You have a kid, they'll pay you pay something for the first 3 years. I don't know what it is, but it's a sad day in hell that we've got to offer people money and incentives to go knock boots. Don't make no sense, does it? Okay, and then Wade says he don't like the Cybertruck. I've never seen a Cybertruck in person. I've watched a little bit of that durability test. What's his name? Whistling Diesel, that young guy. Ripped the bumper off that thing like it was nothing. Yeah, see, and I'm still confused on the math of those birth rates, how they do it. It's -1. 2 people have 1, it's -12. I don't know. Maybe I'm messing up the math on the birth rate, how it's explained, but it does make sense, right? You got 2 people on an island, a man and a woman. If they have 2 kids and then they die, you still got 2 people. That's neutral, right? So if they want to increase the population on that island, they've got to have at least 3. Now you got 3, they end up dying. Okay, now you had 2, now you got 3. But isn't that crazy that you have to have 3 kids to increase the population by 1? How many folks do you know these days who got 3 kids? Yeah, too many laws and regulations and ink on paper in the United States of America. Nobody can even tell us how many laws we got over there. It's just bullshit, ink on paper. There you go. Leanne says, my dad hunted deer, rabbit, squirrel, and fish. Those were sports, I believe. Those were doing real life things instead of sitting there playing Call of Duty. But we can't blame these children. We have to blame ourselves. Yeah, my generation, your generation, we have to blame ourselves. We're the ones who, the root cause is allowing legislation to be passed and the normal programming of when a man and a woman can't get along and they get a divorce, they remove the father from the home. That is the root cause of all the problems, at least in my home country. Okay, mom and dad can't get along. Let's remove the father from the lives of 3 teenage boys and see what happens. What a great idea. Let's let a single mom give her all the money and the kids, marginalize the father, and let's see how a single woman can raise 3 growing men. Great idea. Great idea. How did society get to the point where you can't get along? The woman automatically 90% of the time gets the kids. Dad can't do nothing. You know, every other weekend, they don't even know the father, and they raise themselves on Call of Duty down in mama's basement, and we wonder why they go shoot up schools. I think it should be quite the opposite. Absolutely quite the opposite. Okay, you're going to get a divorce, and there's, well, let's just do this. Let's be fair about it. Let's be fair and smart about it. You're going to get a divorce. All the boys go with dad. The girls go with mom. How about that? That's it. No need for divorce lawyers or laws or anything else. That's one law. You're going to divorce your wife's going to divorce you. You got boys, they all go with dad. The girls, they go with you. Nobody pays anybody. Good luck. That would make perfect sense. But it's hard enough for a man raising teenage boys. How do we expect a single mom to do that? She's trying to govern almost grown men. It's not going to work. Most mothers can't, teach boys how to skin a catfish or kill a chicken or skin a deer. And therefore they've lost all those skills. But what skills have they gained? Man, they got them great skills with them thumbs down in that basement. Okay, Kel's reporting that it's buffering. It looks like everything here is operating in the green. Looks like we're operating in the green over on Twitch. Check my YouTube screen. Looks like we're operating in the green. I think I'm still operating pretty good here, man. Anybody else is buffering? Let me know. Got 101 folks here. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. If you just tuned in at the beginning of this broadcast, and this is what I'm going to try to do every morning. I gave you the vent report. Volcanoes, earthquakes, the news, and typhoons. Are there any of that activity going on? Is there any news? I'm gonna do that in the first 10 minutes. That's what I'm gonna try to do every morning. First 10 minutes, you get all the news you need to know over here in the PI. After that, we just hang out. Okay, yeah, it might be on your end, man, because I'm looking at multiple screens. I'm still rocking on strong. And with that said, we had a brownout last night, about 20 minutes. Not a big deal unless you're trying to do some type of live stream operation, and then it puts you out. You can't do it. But that was last night, so knock on wood, we're still going good this morning. Something like that. How are you, my friend? No buffering in Colorado. All right. People want to know about our internet over here in the Philippines. We got great internet. Our the package we had in Angeles was 800 up, 800 down for 3,500. I think that's the numbers. So just say 20, 40, 60, $65. Here, I think we have 300 up and down. I prefer the 800, but I'm saving 1,000 pesos a month just by going with the 300, and it seems to be working fine. We got great internet here in the Philippines. We use Converge. There's all different types of companies, different companies. I recommend Converge. They've done us right for years now. Solid. Let's see. iLaugh says, how do you figure this out? I'm actually older than you and play video games. Hey man, if that's what makes you happy, that's up to you. If you got time to do so. I ain't got time to play no video games, even if I wanted to. And if I had time to play video games, I would rather convert that into extra time rocking out Big Pumpkin. I like playing that game. That's a great sport. So you can exercise your thumbs. I work out a different way. Amazing air show videos. Thank you very much. The main camera that you're watching me on right now is a Sony FX3. It is the FX3. Been a great camera. A great camera. The biggest thing I've got out of this FX3 is an education. A lot of folks in this game are, bought FX3s, still using FX3s. But my old Sony camcorder, which usually points in the mountains, but I got the curtains closed. That thing is a champion. It's probably a fifth, a sixth of the cost of this FX3. But yeah, the clarity, it's just a wonderful camera. It is never overheated on me. Knock on wood. Better knock on wood. It's never overheated. There's definitely a learning curve if you don't know how to use a real camera. I mean, yeah, you can set it on automatic and it'll do pretty good, but this camera has given me an education. Because my old camcorder, that thing is point and shoot, and it's 99.9% on the money. It looks gorgeous. This thing here, and this is how I've described them, okay? That old camcorder is like an M4, and this FX3 is like an M24. All right, you got to dial it in. You got to be on it. You got to set the white balance. And once you dial this thing in, it's a beautiful image that comes out of this camera. But it's not as simple as my old camcorder where I just point and shoot and it looks really good. And I bring that out because a lot of folks, I was talking yesterday or day before about buying camera gear. A lot of folks think I'm just going to buy this expensive camera and my footage is going to look like Hollywood, and that's not the way it works. When I first, I struggled with this camera for a long time, and now I think I finally got it dialed in with my settings, my color. I know how to set the white balance, and sometimes you set it, it's a little bit off. Now I know how to make this thing run. I know how to drive it. But if you think that you're just going to run out and buy an FX3 or an FX6 or some type of cinema line camera, there's a learning curve. It's not automatically going to make your footage look like a movie. Now that's what they all want you to believe because they're trying to sell cameras. But anyhow, thank you very much for the compliment. It's a Sony FX3. Nope, never seen a Sasquatch, never seen Bigfoot. Hola Levato, government username, how are you? Let's see, McMiller says, well, my children hate me. Not sure why. My boy's 44, eldest daughter 47. I don't know if they hate you, my friend. We were talking to a buddy of mine just about, sometimes when you have a falling out with your kids or what have you, at some point, you got to man up and put the call in. Put the call in and clear the air. But then the flip side of it is the flip argument is at some point they got to man up and put the call in because you're the father. But with kids these days, it seems like they never man up and put the call in. So it just reverts back to us to be the better man and put the call in. Does that make sense? Life's too short. And then back to talking about, raising kids. Yeah, a woman cannot, nothing against single moms or being a mother or anything like that, but a teenage boy needs his father. That's it. Teenage boys need to be raised by their fathers, not by a single mom. Just doesn't work. And I'll go and like I said, a teenage girl needs motherly advice. Okay? All right, I'll tell a personal story right here. Picking my daughter up yesterday from school on the motorcycle. We're coming home, and two dogs are doing a hibbity right there in front of us at a speed bump. She's staring right at it. Right? What do you say? You know what I mean? What you want to do is just hit the gas and avoid the question. In that case, it'd be something better for her mother to explain to her, right? Where I don't got to. So we all have roles, and if we don't get along and we have to separate, it just makes perfect sense. Let the boys, growing men, young men, go with their father. Let the girls go live with their mother. If you can't come to some better agreement than that, that should be the law. Can't decide where they want to go? Okay, dude, you're taking the men, you take the ladies. Good luck. Everything else, y'all try to get along and bridge everything together. Yeah, it's one of those things. People see UFOs all the time, but where are they? Why we can't go to a local museum and see the thing? So people see Bigfoot all the time, but where are the bones? Where is he? Same with the Loch Ness. I mean, who knows? See, 98 folks still here. I want to thank y'all very much for tuning in. If you missed the first part of the show, I went over to basically the basic news, what's going on here in the Philippines, and just a beautiful day. Just a beautiful sunny day. Not much going on here in my world. Everything is good. Let's see, they did a study and found children brought up by single fathers were far better adjusted and productive members of society. I got no problem with that study. Again, nothing against moms out there, especially single moms, but we fathers get marginalized too much. And we're just as capable, in a lot of situations even more capable. So a lot of the problems, my argument is most of the problems, the root cause is the removal of fathers from the children's lives. Everything else grows from there. Let's see, Boster, how are you? Do I expose my face to a lot of sun, or do you wear a hat or something? I stay in the sun a lot. Like today, I'll go out there and take my shirt off and sit in the sun intentionally for 30 minutes or an hour. It makes me feel good. I wear a boonie hat when we're walking around. It's direct sun, but I don't hide from the sun like the Filipinos do. They will run from shadow to shadow, literally. I'm not running from shadow to shadow. So I don't use any suntan lotion or anything like that. I just put a boonie hat on. If you're riding a bike for a long time or walking in the sun, I wear a long sleeve shirt. That's all I do. 345 says Starlink internet in the Cayman Islands is the best so far. Yeah, I came close to picking up the Starlink Mini, sort of as a backup, and also we can take that thing camping. But haven't picked it up yet. If we get these camping trips back on and they start being routine up to these coves, there's no cell service up there. So if we want to live stream, we got to get a Starlink Mini. Let's see, government says I got Starlink in Yosemite Valley, works great. And Spicy Road says Bigfoot is a different type of being, interdimensional. You know, and a lot of stuff when we talk like that, you know, it's very like far out, hard to believe. But some of these UFOs that we're seeing in the sky, we don't fully understand. We can't figure it out. You know, is there other dimensions, parallel universes? I'll tell you, a great show. I'm telling you, so many different levels was what I watched recently, and I binge watched it. I may go back and watch it again. Was The Man in the High Castle. Man, just what an interesting show. The concept, the plot, and I'll just tell you, it has to do with parallel worlds and the fact that the Japanese and the Nazis won World War II. And it's just one of those mind-boggling type shows. But it's called The Man in the High Castle. If anybody's watched it, feel free to weigh in. Let me know what your assessment was. But after that first episode, I was hooked. I had to watch it. Now she comes up for a visit from time to time. She's welcome here at any time, as long as she wants to stay. Let's see, in my 30s, want the same clear skin. Some people say the sun is damaging and causes wrinkles. Yeah, I mean, there's all, you know, different advice, and I'm not a dermatologist. But I've never intentionally, like, always hid from the sun. My situation quite opposite. I'm at the beach, I'm in the pool. I do wear a hat when I'm out too much, and I wear long sleeves so my arms don't get burned, but I'm not hiding from it. So this is just the effects of a hard life, spending a lot of time in the sun. I better knock on wood, I might end up with skin cancer. But so far, I don't want to say I don't worry about it, but it's not like where every time I go out, I'm putting on suntan lotion. I don't use any of that stuff. Now, with that said, if you go to Panama City Beach for a week-long vacation, you better be lathering up from head to toe, or you'll be as red as a damn strawberry after day one. You'll have a miserable vacation. You know, over in Pattaya, I see that every day for the Russian tourists. You know, they'll leave out and spend the day over on Koh Larn, and you can just sit there, because I walk, you know, every morning, take a motorbike ride every morning. They'll be white as a sheet headed this way to get on the boat, and then if you just go there in the afternoon, every one of them is just red as can be coming this way, coming back. Every one of them. Like, hey, there's this thing called suntan lotion. You're going to be in the sun for 9 hours. It's too cheap to buy it. Yeah, Ricky, I might watch it again too. It was just a great show. And there you go, Spicy Rose. You get vitamin D from the sun. That's a big health issues that Muslim women and far northern people have due to the lack of the vitamin. Yeah, that's what they say. All I know is that I do feel better when I get 30 minutes or an hour of sitting out there in my my cut off Magnum PI blue jeans, short shorts. I just sit out there in my folding camp chair in the sun. I feel so much better. I got so much more energy. And put more lead in your pencil too. And keep that cryptic where the Google squirrels don't get me. Go sit out in the sun for about an hour a day. See what happens. And if you really want to do some damage, you get that Carlo Rossi California Red. There you go. That's a combination. Just gave you some secrets. Sit out in an hour of sun, bottle of California Red by Carlo Rossi, and see if it don't have some effects. Alright, let me check all my stuff here. And I'm going to have to take a short break. Let me find my sign. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break if y'all don't mind. And I don't have the camera pointed out there. So you'll just have to look at Big Pumpkin's. And I'll tell y'all something funny, right? You know, I told you yesterday, I bought these shelves for her. And one was her kitchen stuff and one is her clothes. And she still got her clothes over here. I told her, I said, baby, you can still use your clothes, but I need this. It's just a beautiful backdrop. I don't got to try to hang nothing on the wall. It's just a beautiful color. I can put products up there. Look at that, product placement. I got everything from wireless mics to Ray-Bans up there, you know. I can put my drinks over here without spilling the drinks, but she is mad as a smashed cat that I stole these shelves from Johnny's bamboo shop. She is not happy about me commandeering these shelves, but I said, baby, it's got to be done. It just looks like a studio. And I told her she could still use the shelves, but really I'm about to evict her clothes off the shelves, because this morning she disturbed me and come in here and got some clothes. I'm like, oh, no, they got to go. So she don't know it, but tonight I'm evicting all of her stuff off of these shelves. So tomorrow you're not going to see pancake mix, Vienna sausages, and what the hell is that? Afrittata, nor flavor cubes, or the beef and herb gravy. All that shit's leaving the building, going into her kitchen. Now, I will get her 2 more shelves, but right now I need this. It just makes this, I'll make this look good. Yeah, it looks like a bookshelf. That's basically what it is. It's just a nice wood bookshelf, and I can put everything I need on there. It's just beautiful, functional. It did a great job. So I'll just go pick her up, 2 more shelves. But I need these right now, and I need her clothes and her Vienna sausages to leave the AO. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here, because this is my studio. Wade says you can't do that since she has every right to have clothes or anything anywhere in your place. Well, Smoke, I'm the king of this here castle. I'm the king of this kingdom. And I reserve the right to assign where things go up in my castle. And if I say her clothes got to leave up out of my studio, that's what's going to be happening. That's how things work around here. Yeah, she can take back over the cardboard box shelves until I can get over to Johnny's bamboo shop and buy her some new shelves. So yeah, I can do that. McMiller says I gotta go. Yeah, I could put all the camera stuff on them shelves, right? Yeah, camera gear. I'll put my camera gear there. It's a good backdrop. Put a picture of my girlfriend on there, Wade. Put a picture of the bulldog on there. Everybody wants to see the bulldog. I just put a big 8x10 of the bulldog. Maybe one there, one there. I can do that because I'm the king of this castle. But I will get her some new shelves, folks. It just worked out perfect. The alternative was have to put something on the wall, tape something, nail something to the wall. No, just move the shelves in here. It solved all my problems right away. It looks beautiful, makes the room look bigger. And you let me know if the audio has any reverb, but I got a plan for that. I got these egg crates here. I'm gonna start soundproofing the room with these egg crates. I never do any sound treatment, but I've only got 2 of these right now, so I gotta find me about 100 of them, and I'm gonna put the ladies putting these all over the wall where I sort of knock out that reverb. Yeah, put some knickknacks, maybe put a light. You know, all these folks on YouTube building out these expensive home studios. They'll put a neon light back here and a lamp. You know, you put a colored light. I can do all that too. I just don't want to spend too much money. I didn't want to spend no money on this. That's why I just reassigned the location of the shelves, like I'm going to reassign the location of her drawers. There we go. But I realize a lot of folks in America, you've been programmed to not think like that. The programming in America is much different than the way we were programmed in my generation. I'm the man of the house. I'm the king of the castle. Something that's small needs to happen. It happens. I need it. That's it. It's not like I'm being mean to say I want it. Oh, I want it because why? No, I need it. It's just like she wanted me to build her a house and I needed this FX3. Which way am I going to go? I chose wisely. I got the FX3 with the 35mm 1.4 G Master lens. I even got a carbon fiber tripod for safety. You know? What if I'm outside and I've got this FX3 on the tripod and I'm holding on to it and a bolt of lightning strikes the tripod or the camera? It could be the end of me. But not since I got this carbon fiber tripod. Now I'm safe. See how that works? Tough decisions have to be made. My gosh. Not being unreasonable here. Build her a house or buy a carbon fiber tripod. Had to do. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. You know, and the thing about this FX3, it's going to last for years. It's lasted for years. It's going to last for even more years. So when you break it down by year, how much did you pay for this particular camera? The longer it lasts, obviously, the more the yearly usage fee goes down and down and down. And hell, these things hold their value so good. When I start looking at the next latest and greatest camera, I might think about selling this one. Yeah, enough about that. 106 folks here now, but listen folks, I gotta take a quick 10-100 break and get me some more ice water since Big Pumpkin ain't coming in here. So what I'm gonna do is put my sign up. I got a sign. It's a sophisticated signs. Boom, right there. Look at that sign. Where should I put it? How about right here? Right there. So while I'm gone, the camera will focus in on that shelf. See, I got it about a 2.0, so it's very shallow depth of field, but when I leave, it should focus in on that shelf. And take a good look, because tomorrow, the Beanie Weenies and her draws won't be in the frame. It'll be a little bit more professional tomorrow. And I'll turn the microphone off and I'll be back with y'all in less than 15 minutes. If I'm not back in 15, just wait longer. What movie was that from? Be right back. Okay, folks, I'm back. I'm back, but I'm not gonna be here for long because time's done got away from me. I gotta go be old single dad. Let me take my sign down here. Look at that sign up there. Taking a short break. Yeah, so let me just take a few more comments. I got to get back into the grind here. See, 85 folks still with me. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Man, I hope everybody's doing well. Kel says some racing yachts have carbon fiber masks. When they get hit by lightning, they sort of shatter. What I was thinking is my carbon fiber tripod would save me from a lightning bolt if I'm filming outside. Maybe that's a flawed assumption. But that's the excuse I used when I told Big Pumpkin I had to buy a carbon fiber tripod. It's probably really I just wanted it, to be honest. There you go. I could put some intermission music up there. Actually, what I could do is put an intermission video up there as well. Benito, how you doing, man? Checking in from Texas. Carl, how are you? All right, cool. Glad that you like the background. So I think that'll be the background from now on. I just work on what I put on the shelves. You're checking in from The Hague. Yeah, everything's good here, my friend. Let me make sure I put everybody's super chat up there. Let's see. I think it put everybody up there. So thank y'all very much for listening to my voice and tuning in. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. I got 162 thumbs up. I got 3 thumbs down. You know, I don't think YouTube shows you that anymore. Everybody gets a trophy now. But I can see the thumbs down on my end. I'll take a thumbs down. No problem. I'm happy about that. But I got to get back in the game. I got to fire up this hog and get into the game here. So I'll say I'll see y'all tomorrow morning around the same bat time, the same bat channel. And leave it down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the little acronym, right? VENT, volcanoes, earthquakes, news, and typhoons. The VENT report in the first 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe that's a little corny, but it helps me in my mind remember what's going on. I can't figure out how to incorporate landslides and tsunamis, so we'll just leave it at VENT. That's what you want to know. Coming over to the PI, that's let you plan your travel. Wife gonna be mad? Yeah, she's already mad. I'll talk about this and I gotta run. She's already mad because I stole the shelves. I didn't steal them. I just repositioned them. I appropriated the shelves. She wanted the shelves. I needed the shelves. It's needs versus wants. Needs gonna win. Now I need her to remove those clothes because they're cramping my style. She wants to keep the clothes on that shelf, but I need her to vacate the premises. I'm just explaining to her, hey, it's a private residence here. It's a private residence here, man. What movie's that from? So tomorrow, the beanie weenies under clothes will be out of here. That's it. Let's see. And Kel says that's what TNT News does. Quick 10-minute daily events, news, and weather, then a chat. I'm not real sure who that is, but that's what I plan on doing. The VENT report, the first 10 minutes, and then hang out and just drink coffee, drink beer, and talk about the mysteries of life. Yeah, thank you very much, Wade. Yeah, she can be a big mad pumpkin if she wants to. Cranky pumpkin. She's usually a cranky pumpkin anyhow. But, folks, everybody, I know a bunch of y'all out there mad. This is the last thing I'll bring up. A lot of y'all are mad at me because I didn't run out and buy her a washing machine. We did a live stream. A lot of folks sent some funds to buy her a washing machine. The next day I show up with a Yamaha. I can understand how that might look, but I had basically bought that Yamaha weeks ago, just waiting on some paperwork to go through. But hey, I'm in the entertainment game. Obviously, I'm going to run with it, but some people don't understand the humor. They're still pissed at me over that. But hey, I still don't want to buy a washing machine because it's going to run up my light bill. And I enjoy watching her wash clothes by hand. She's beautiful. But she wants a washing machine. It is the rainy season. It's all step by step. Yeah, eventually we'll get her a washing machine. You know, maybe for a Christmas present. I don't know. But right now I needed these shells, and now she's raising hell about these shells, so I got to get her 2 more shells before that washing machine. I don't want her to be mad. See how that works? Step by step. Rome was not built in one day. It wasn't built in a day. Yeah, I got 85 folks here. I do hate to shut it down. I could tell Big Pumpkin just to take a trike. Could just call the trikes. Well, I'd like to try to do a 24-hour live stream, but break it up with some different events, different sections. You know, here we have brownouts about once a week, and I got bad luck. Last night we had a brownout for 2 hours. It would take down the stream. But that's the risk you take, anything in life. I'd like to try to do a 24-hour, see if I could pull it off. My equipment is operating in the green. As long as we don't have a brownout, I could pull it off. We'll see. But, yeah, she'll get hangry again. Yeah, I'll do some more motorcycle footage, no problem. Maybe I'll wait till I get Joy Joy on the back, though. It'd be a great video. Take Joy Joy for a big, long motorbike ride up to Pundocket, eat lunch, come back. I'd certainly enjoy it. We'll bring Big Pumpkin at the go plate. Bring her the leftovers. Alright, folks. Y'all hit that thumbs up. I'll see y'all tomorrow about the same time. Y'all have a good one. Find the finish button here. Alright, I'm out of here. Peace out, my friends. Old Single Dad signing off.